also post this, and then let's see there. All right. So the VOD watchers, for all the VOD watchers, now that I've posted this, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying today, and I hope you enjoy the stream. My camera feels really high today. I will also say, I will leave timestamps for when games will start. We're about 30 minutes out until the tournament is set to start on the live stream, so I'll have that there for you. Also, if you're enjoying the stream, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, especially with these OP14 championships. Really helps out for people helping to find us, so appreciate all the support in that. And it's the second day in a row, actually, that we've done these Tokyo, Japan championships. This is a second tournament. This is not the same tournament as yesterday. This is a completely unique tournament out in Tokyo, basically 2 days in a row of these 1v1 championships. So if you missed yesterday's VOD, that is also public both on Twitch and YouTube. But for the people that are here in YouTube right now, what's going on? My cat pushing my mic. I'm gonna have to boot my cat off. Come on, Morticia. Thank you. Slobber 40, what's going on? James McKellen, Cool Crash, Wink, Turn 1. Yo, what's up, Danny? How are you? Yeah, second day in a row, chat. Second day in a row that there is a Tokyo, Japan championship. The way that I understand it is that there's two Tokyo area tournaments, because I guess Tokyo has such a big population of players and people that are in the area, so they made it two different qualifying tournaments, or at least tournaments that you can qualify into, like the Japan finals. Yo, Jesus, what's going on? Hope your health is well. Salud. Beast Boy, what's good? Zeno, Tony, Kreplach, what's good? What's good? What's good, chat? Appreciate everybody joining in. Chat, if you're here, please make sure to like the stream. Also, Papa, thank you so much for following over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Please make sure to like the stream over on YouTube, so then more people can help find us. I think this could be one of our biggest streams of all time today. It's my goal. Yo, SSJRN, what's good? What's good? Is Boa any good? Yeah, Boa got top 16 last night. I think Boa's good. I think Boa's a good deck. Yeah, the Nami versus Boa matchup was fascinating. I wouldn't mind like watching it again. The VOD also for last night's tournament, for anyone who missed it, is on the channel public, so feel free to watch that whenever you get the chance. Hope Zoro can do somewhat well. It wouldn't surprise me if we saw one green Zoro in Top Cut today. I mean, I don't think Zoro is as great as it is in OP, what is it? OP12 and OP13, but I still think it's a good deck. I just think it gets checked a lot easier by the new decks in the format. Dude, if Dofi got the W this week, that'd be so sick. Yo, Cribs, what's good? Do you think Emu survives OP14? Yes. I mean, we saw in last night's championship that Emu was the second most populous deck in Top Cut. So, yeah. Yes, this is the one, Owen, that Kylekai is playing in. I don't know how he's doing personally. I've been trying to scour Twitter and I haven't. Ooh! What are you playing? Ooh, chat, there's going to be a Dracul Mihawk in Top Cut, I believe. There's at least one Dracul Mihawk in Top Cut. Also, yeah, I follow this person. But let's see. I know Kylekai was cosplaying in the event. Very cool. I like his cosplay. But I do know that Fudelio went 8-1 and he made Top Cut, chat. Chat, if you do not know Fudelio TCG, another content creator over on Twitch and YouTube, he actually lives in Japan. right? An English speaker, as you can see, from Texas, living in Tokyo. He made top 16 with Bonnie. I think he's the 14th seed based on this. So first of all, if he ever sees this, big shout out to him. I know he's been a big Bonnie guy. We actually featured, chat, if you do not know, fun fact, I don't know what exact deck list he is running, but we just featured his deck list the other day on the YouTube channel. Give myself a like. Is that cringe? Where is it? Where is it? Right here. Oop. That's me giving him a quick shout out. We featured his YouTube. We featured his Bonnie deck list that he's been running in different events at the beginning of the OP14 format here on the channel. So, if you watch my videos, chat, you would have known that this list is cracked. Big shout outs to Fidelio. No, 40. Actually, I think Zoro would struggle against Doflamingo because Doflamingo redirects the attacks. So when Zoro swings, you just redirect the attack to leader and you nullify Zoro's leader effect. It's a lot. It's very similar to the interaction in the matchup to Green Blue Rosinante, if you remember me talking about that on the channel. Who did that? Yo, Luffy TV. What's good, my friend? Thank you so much for the raid. Asa, dude. What's good? How are we, Raiders? Chat, thank you so much for coming in from Luffy TV stream. If you know Luffy TV, good buddy of mine. I've been watching him ever since I moved to Las Vegas because he's one of the only guys that streams at night before I go to bed. But tonight, we're the late night for the Japan Championship. For anyone who does not know, my name is Atrocious Jake or Atrocious TCG. You may know me as on Twitch and or YouTube. I talk about the One Piece card game. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Hope you enjoy your time here. Feel free to leave questions. What does YouTube need to be unmuted for you to get the credit or whatever? What do you mean? I don't know what you mean, Gamma Beast Boy. As long as you're watching the stream, I garner your view. You know? I love watching these tournaments. They do a lot. Boa Hancock. Yo, the Boa Hancock in the chat right now. Yo, what's up, Amon? Teddy, what's good? We are a little early to the Japan Championships, chat. We have about 24 minutes until the stream is about to start. We got about 24 minutes. Mirror matches with Emu are crazy, in my opinion. What are you going to build for EBO3 OP14? Well, OP14, I want to play Purple Doflamingo. If you've been watching my videos, ever since that leader got revealed, I've been a big fan of the Purple Doflamingo leader. In EBO3, probably because EBO3 is coming after OP14 here in the West, I'll probably still be running Purple Doflamingo. Yeah, Fidelio, he made Top Cut. He's the 14th seed, Luffy. Yes, Boa Hancock. I usually just stream on Twitch for these live streams and maybe some other, you know, random streams if I'm like competing in a like online regional or something like that. Yo, good evening, Yogurt. How are you? Okay, I have an honest question, Yogurt. True or false? Is your name real? Like, are yogurt-covered pretzels actually good? Because every time I see your name, I think about that. And I get curious. I think we could have chat, I think personally, in terms of reveals, because usually they do reveals on the live stream. Hold on, let me pull it up. I think the reveals that they're going to do tonight, potentially, Let me pull it up from Discord. I think the reveals that we could have tonight are probably these, right? They haven't revealed the Tony Chopper or the Kaku yet, and they may do these EBO4 ones. I don't know. They haven't done the other EBO. No, they have done the EBO4 ones, I think. So I think if we get reveals, it might be these cards that were leaked and or showcased by English First. No, there is no ban list announcement. I don't know where you heard that. How do I feel about Vivi? I think Vivi is a cool deck. I think Vivi is a decent deck. And it has good population numbers within these tournaments, but we have yet to see it make a top 16. They're your favorite snack? Yes, they're low-key fire. Yes, they're fire. Oh, geez, everybody in chat is saying that they're good. Okay. I'll have to try it. Praying for the GP Luffy to come back. I see GP Luffy like every so often, but it's mostly at like flagships and standard battles in Japan. They need to release more Alabasta cards. I feel like the Vivi leader, though, doesn't need Alabasta cards. But I hope Fudelio wins out. It would be so sick to see Fudelio win this championship. It's all good, Beast Boy. Don't worry too much about it. Don't worry too much about it. Even if it doesn't count, if you're watching, that's what matters to me. It doesn't matter if it counts as a view or not, to me. I do have a P.O. box, Yogurt. It's in my Discord server if you want. If anybody ever wants to send me anything, I do have a P.O. box in our Discord server that you can use and just send it to me. Blue Purple Sanji great again. Blue Purple Sanji had one entry in the top 16 last night. No. I think it's just Boa. I think some people, because there were a ton of rumors, people spreading rumors that there was going to be a ban list in OP14. And so I think some people, I won't name names or anything like that, I think some people are still talking about it. Which, I mean, the game does not need a ban list. Anyways, we don't know the decks yet in top 16. We won't know until they start this live stream. But as soon as they know, I will let you know. I will let you know, chat. Vivi needs more Whitebeard cards. We should just make Vivi a Whitebeard pirate, right, chat? Chat, you guys have seen One Piece. I have not. Vivi becomes a Whitebeard pirate, right? There was Mr. Toxic. You guys can't actually see it, I think. But right now in Hong Kong. So if you look right under my camera right here, in Hong Kong, you guys can't really see my mouse. In Hong Kong, they're doing a 3v3 right now. And I like tuned in to see like what was going on and stuff. Which we will chat commentate later this week. Or I should say next week. Later next week. Probably on like Tuesday. I think we're going to live stream commentating the Hong Kong Championships. There was a Kobe that was on stream in this tournament. I don't know if he won or lost. I was a little busy, so I wasn't really watching too much. But I looked over and I saw there was a Kobe on stream. I want Reiju to be good again. I like Reiju a lot. I think Reiju's fun. Yo, what up, Dum Dum? How are you? I like Doflamingo the best. Purple Doflamingo. Yeah, Reiju is just so aggressive. It's crazy. Also, Boa Hancock and Rusty Blasters, Zen Shadow. Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. Appreciated, chat. Thank you, everyone that's also stuck around from Luffy TV's raid. One of my favorite Twitch streamers. And YouTubers, by the way. He also streams on YouTube for anyone who doesn't know. Yo, what's up, Rusty? I want RP Law unbanned. I would be so curious to see what would happen if Red Purple Law was unbanned. Because one of you guys last night asked how I think Red Purple Law would fare in the meta right now if it was unbanned. And I don't know, like I feel like it would be a good deck, but I don't think it would be the BDIF like it was back in the Eastern OP08 format. I wish we did more 3v3 formats too. Usually it's only like side events, but I wish we had more official championships of that. Because I think when the game first started, I didn't start playing until like OP04 chat, but I think when the game first started, they did 3v3s, right? I think Kobe's sneaky. I think you have the huge element of surprise for a lot of people. A 3-cost Sanji. Reiju could maybe get like some sort of Sanji, especially with the new... Oh no, your leader has to be Sanji for that event. So actually, never mind. That wouldn't work. I will say, though, Mr. Toxic, in the OP12 format, I did host on this channel a tournament that was everything unbanned, right? Great Eruption was unbanned. Gecko Moria was unbanned. Moby Dick, Kabaji was all unbanned. It was before they did their most recent... Before they did the pair ban of like Purple Katakuri and Charlotte Linlin on UP Luffy. Is before that. We held a tournament of everything unbanned, and Red Purple Law, in my opinion, was the second best deck in the room. UP Luffy was the best deck in the room, but Red Purple Law was a very close second. I think the finals were UP Luffy and Red Purple Law. So I think, yeah, UP still won. It was crazy. Blue Dofi could see some meta play again. It's really interesting, Purple Alligator, because, like, I think Dofi would see, like, Blue Dofi would see an uptick if the Jinbei was unbanned. Because with the Jinbei, and the reason that it did get banned is, like, you just unlock such a level of aggression at the beginning of the game that most all decks like can't keep up with. I think it just like it gatekeeps a lot of decks from existing, like how it felt when it was around in like OP07 and when the new starter deck came out. Manifesting an Egghead CP0 Black Yellow Lucci leader, that would be so sick, right? Especially with that Kaku reveal of the, I think it's the second CP0 character, because Stussy in OP13 was the first, right? To be honest, Hoondini, I think Blue Nami would also be very, very good. But I think, well, yeah, with the Otama, like I think Blue Nami would be super, super good. I would agree with that. But we also did it before Otama released in OP13. So the deck is vastly different with that. I know Iceberg's like one of the only One Piece characters I know. I also want another Iceberg leader. What's the most used color combo leader in the game? I don't know. It could be red green. Although to be honest, there's red green Odin, there's a couple red green Luffy's. What's the best way to look this up? Like red leader, red green Smoker, red blue. Oh, there's red green Chopper, red green Odin. There's red green Law, Luffy. I think probably red green is up there for the reds, because there's only like what, 3, 4 blues, and there's 5 of those. Green, you got a couple green purples. Green blue has 2, 3 green yellows. I bet it's red green, to be honest. I bet the most used color combination is red green. Actually, no, it could. I think it's blue-purple. 1, we have Crocodile. 2, Kaido. 3, Reiju. 4, Hannibal. Sanji. Luffy. That's 6 right there, actually. Hold on, it could be like a yellow deck, right? Purple yellow has 3, 4. Blue yellow has 1, 2, 3, 4. It might be blue purple, actually. It might be blue purple. I haven't crunched the numbers, but yo, what's up, Zebulon? How are you? Yo, what's up, Golden Gad? I want everything unbanned except Ice Age and Red Purple Law. I think if they were to unban Red Purple Law, they need to pair ban Black Maria. And they've already shown through UP Luffy that they will pair ban something. I disagree, B-Max. I think a good Nami player can beat Teach. Because we saw in the, what was it? It was about like this past spring, after OP09 released and Teach was up there. I think it was after OP10 released. Adam Cisneros won the Pasadena Regionals on Nami, and he claimed that Teach was a winning matchup. So I think, I think it's a huge skill difference, but for the average player, you're probably right. But how many red purple leaders are there? Red purple. There's Luffy. There's Uta. Are there any other red purples? I'm drawing a blank. Sugar. So there's 3. Well, would it even work, Rusty? Because you already have Nico Robin. Or would you just not play Nico Robin? You don't have to KO anything, Boa Hancock. I feel like Crocodile as a deck functionally does not need to KO anything. He just needs to make something like 0 cost to be able to get additional effects. Hey, Matt, I think the new Luffy leader is kind of interesting. I think it's pretty interesting. Oh, yeah, Goldie Roger is another red purple. That's right. So there's 4. Oh, red purple kid, that's 5. Oh, so there's 6, Teddy. You got 6 in there. 7 leaders? Wait, who's the 7th? Oh, there is 2 red purple laws. That's right, because of the promo. I didn't even think about the promo. Yeah, so it could be 7, yeah. So it could be red purple. Because I don't think there's any promos for blue purple. So there's so many purples. Yo, what's up, B Cart Mill? How are you? Yeah. I appreciate that Nami blocker. That Rosie deck was sick. I have a Rosie list, chat. I have an OP13 Rosinante list. Would you guys like to see it? Press 1 in chat if you want to know my OP13 Rosinante list. Yeah, so there's 7 red-purple leaders. Crazy. Chat, so we know that in this tournament there is 1 Bonnie. We know there's a Pawnee in there. We know there's a Mihawk in Top Cut. I think also there's potentially a red-purple, or not a red-purple. I also think that there's a red law. Actually, I'm going to put their music on so that I don't miss it and I can hear when it changes. Because if you check my Twitter, I need to answer this later. But chat, the reason why they're running board clearing. The reason why Doflamingo last night ran Divine Departures is to be able to clear board a lot easier. Watch the finals match with UP Luffy and you'll get a really good understanding of why that exists. But anyways, I follow somebody else. This person made Top Cut. They are the 9th seed in the event, and they are all about Trafalgar Law. And I think there's a possibility that maybe they're running Red Law, Mono Red Law. I don't know. Can't say for sure. But maybe they're running Mono Red Law. I can't get a gauge on what they're playing. Potentially Doflamingo. I think they're either playing Doflamingo or they're playing Red Law. What's your OP14 Rosinante list? I have no idea. I have not thought about OP14 Rosinante. I'll show you guys soon, Chad. Not today, not today. I got to do a little bit more testing. I'll take it to a tournament. What's your favorite leader that you feel needs support to take it to the top, and what does it need? This is a hard question. The leader that I want to have the most support is Blue-Green Rosinante. But in terms of what it needs... that's a much more difficult question. I don't really know exactly because I haven't played enough with the deck right now in 13. I don't know if there's a Crocodile yet. I don't know if there's a Crocodile in Top Cut. I will, once I find out, I will let you all know because they'll show it on screen. Wait, Kai almost made Top Cut? No, missed by one game. Did he go X2 or did he go X1? Archuk, I think Bo's a pretty good deck. Made top 16 last night. Think there's a pretty good chance that we'll see one or two others in top 16 tonight. I think it's pretty good. Yellow Bonnie. Oh, no. Green Bonnie turn 1 niche. Fudelio TCG made Top Cut with Green Bonnie, not Yellow Bonnie. I mean, Utah, Emu was alive and well in the in yesterday's tournament. It had the second most populous spot in top 16. Yeah, I think the Thriller Bark engine is super interesting. I don't remember the last time Aka Zoru that I have seen back-to-back streams either. Now, granted, I could just be misremembering, or maybe I was traveling during the specific weekend or working in sports. But I don't remember a back-to-back set of streams either. I think, and this is my theory, I don't know this for sure, I think there's back-to-back championships because there are so many people in Tokyo, right? There are so many people in this area that they made 2 different qualifying tournaments to get more people to play. I think Sanji has great draw power. Have you seen Boof Burst? Rosinante was so fun in 12. I thoroughly enjoyed that deck. I mean, chat, OP03 Blue Nami will be my favorite deck of all time as of right now in the One Piece trading card game. But I think Green, Blue, Rosinante, and OP12 was a very close second. Yeah, I think Rosinante could use a searcher, like a legitimate searcher. Right now, it just has more like raw draw-esque, I think. If we saw a Gecko Moria top today, I'd be giddy. I'm not the biggest fan of Green Bonnie, but when it's Fudelio TCG, I love Green Bonnie. Because I love that man. Oh, 7-2. I'm going to have to... Let me interact with that real quick. Is it going to pop up on my timeline right away? Oh. Oh, he shouldn't be so hard on himself. Ooh, playing 2-4. I feel like this weekend so far, we've seen more people drop counts of Shirahoshi. No. This tournament, I believe, and I could be wrong about this because I don't play in Japan. I don't speak Japanese, chat. It's just what I can gauge and figure out on my own. I think these tournaments that we've been watching qualify for the Japan finals, which is basically like our Card Fest. Like, these are basically regionals that are happening to qualify for Bandai Card Fest, basically, to then qualify for Worlds. So this is basically a regional. What do you think of the new starter deck, Yellow Luffy? I think it's cool, but I think it's really going to depend on the support because it kind of feels like a vanilla leader for like 70% of the game. I don't necessarily agree with that, Cold Pants. But I also do not mind formats like OP13 where it is a much more centralized format. I would say I think I liked OP11 better than OP12. Maybe? Or was it OP10? No, OP10. When I was playing Green, Yellow, Law, I liked that format a lot. All right, chat. It's starting. Actually, I'm going to turn it down for me. Or for you guys. But I'm still going to hear it so that I don't miss anything. What do you think Emu's toughest matchups are in OP14? Anything that comes out of OP14. Honestly. Because I think OP14 is designed to beat Emu without having to ban Emu. So I think just generally like... And it's kind of a joke, but it's also not a joke. I think just generally anything from OP14 beats Emu. And is a tough matchup for it. Because OP14 like leveled out the format. It's about to get so much money for me. I like the regular art leader more than the alternate art. Not to say that Dofi's alternate art is bad. I think it's good. But I think that Dofi's regular art leader is like top 3 best base leaders in the game by far. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the like tournament format trying to qualify for Worlds. I don't think about it too hard because I have no chance of making it to Worlds. I do not practice nearly enough to have even the inkling of qualifying. Ooh, 10.5. Rogers base leader is also really, really good, but I think Dofi clears it. Show me a crocodile in top 16. My heart is yours. I know a lot of people that like Gecko Moria. What kind of practice do they have for this? What do you mean? Like practice for casting or like practice for the tournament itself? What do you mean? Oh yeah, I mean I feel the same way sometimes, Decibel, because I don't know Japanese. I mean it's Zebulon, the practice that players have for tournaments like this is just like, yeah, like playing at locals, testing in groups, right? Like doing an actual testing session at someone's house where you're literally practicing different lines of play in different situations. Like, think of the best players in the Western format, like Impact, right? Austin Yost, their testing group. Talk about people like Jonas Abraham, right? You talk about the Europeans like Skepas and Hervoy, right? Broken Ball, Luca, like those players. You know, like doing a testing group and they play with each other and they help each other improve in what they want to do. Yeah, that's how these people like make it to the top like this. Yeah, I have to use context clues a lot of times to figure out what's going on. I also need to pull up Twitter so I can get Twitter clout. Another 1,200 player tournament, chat. So back-to-back 1,200 player numbers. Very cool. We should get the overall deck distribution here in a second. Just preparing my tweet. Top 16 of tonight's Tokyo Area Championship number 2. There we go. Yeah, the LA scene is crazy. Like South California, SoCal, insane. Oh yeah, Spartan. Like Emu is not dead by far. Emu is still a very good deck. And I think it's silly to think that Emu is a dead deck. All right, chat. So this is the deck distribution for the tournament today. The overall 1,200 person, this is what the decks are. 18% Dracul Mihawk, very similar to yesterday. I believe Dracul Mihawk was the #1 most populous deck in yesterday's tournament. You got 17% of Red Blue Ace and 12% of Emu. Then after that, you have 8% of players playing Boa Hancock, 6% of players playing Doflamingo. So Doflamingo, I believe, was about 3% yesterday and then has now jumped up to 6%. You've got 4% of Green Zoro, 4% of Blue Purple Luffy, 3% of Blue Yellow Nami, 3% of Roger, 3% of Bonnie, Green Bonnie, 3% of Red Black Sabo, 3% of Red Green Luffy, 2% of Jinbei, 2% of Vivi, 1% UP Sanji, and 1% Crocodile. There is a Crocodile in the Top Cut chat. Red alert, there is a Crocodile in Top Cut and only one Emu in this bracket. Oh my goodness. Holy smokes, there are 4 Dracul Mihawks, 3 Ace, 2 Green Bonnie, 1 is Fidelio TCG, 2 Boa Hancocks, 2 Doflamingos, 1 UP Sanji, 1 Black Crocodile, and 1 Emu. Holy smokes. This is a sick Top Cut, chat. Green Bonnie, 2 Hancock, 2 Sorry, chat, I'm typing this out. And I'll repeat this for you guys, chat, here in a second. Let's see, and then click this. Practicing English commentary live now. All right, chat. So going over this again, this top 16, you have 4 Dracula Mihawks, 3 Ace, 2 Bonnie, 2 Boa Hancocks, 2 Doflamingos, 1 UP Sanji, 1 Crocodile, and 1 Emu. Chat, second day in a row, second tournament in a row that UP Sanji is in Top Cut. And here we go, chat. Starting off the top 16 round of this tournament, we've got Dracula Mihawk. Dracula Mihawk being the #1 most populous deck within this top 16, is heralded as the best new deck to come in OP14, really shaking up the meta. Made top 4 yesterday in the championships, looking to make another great appearance today. With that leader effect of resting 1 card and restanding 3 Dawn, it'll go up against a new OP14 leader in Boa Hancock, right? Boa Hancock we saw in the top 16 yesterday as well. Has the ability when you play a character on your opponent's turn, right? More than likely from a trigger, you get to draw 1 card and then Dawn ×1 once per turn. If your opponent KOs a character, right? A Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily character of 5,000 power or more, you get to have your opponent take 1 life. So it looks like both players mulliganing. I am going to try to 1080. Let's try to 1080 real quick. Stream is so choppy today. Is my internet going okay? What is happening? Come on, computer. All right. It'll still be good. Let's see. Let me pull up real quick a Dracula Mihawk list. Oops. Gonna pull up the deck builder. There we go. Now the stream is flowing much, much better. There we go. Can't believe they're not showing Croc. I'm actually super curious as to why they're not showcasing Croc. I wonder if Croc has a auto loss. So I think both players mulliganing in this hand, right, chat, that they both have. The Boa Hancock going first. Starting off in this, has a Marguerite, 2 Boa blockers from starter deck 17, I think it is. The blue Doflamingo starter deck, and 2 Rams. Gonna definitely be able on a 4 Dawn turn on turn 3 to be able to get a rested Dawn on your leader. And the Marguerite as well, right, for that 3 Dawn on the on play. You look at the top 5 of your deck, grab an Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirates type card, add it to your hand, put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, and trash a card from your hand, very similar to Saint Shalria. The Dracula Mihawk running a very similar list to the Supernova package that we saw in yesterday's championship, running that Stun Bonnie, as you can see right there, maybe picking up a little bit of headway in this championship. Also, a 1-cost Perona Searcher is going to be nice at the very beginning. A Surpass Me Roar Zoro event, and Law and Beppo, and 9-cost Dracula Mihawk. This might be a better showing than what we saw in the top 4 of the last championships with the Dracula Mihawk. And so Boa Hancock going first, passing off the turn, is going to go to Dracula Mihawk's turn. Finding a second secret rare Dracula Mihawk. Now I'm going to use that Perona to look at the top 5 for a slash type character. Does find a 2K Zoro, right? Could also find this Spiderweb event, right? Perona finding a slash type character or an event. Spiderweb might be nice for a blocker or character to restand as active, but goes for the little bit of counter in Zoro not having a ton of counter in the hand right now. So Boa Hancock now swinging 5,000 power at lead. Going to have to net a 1K, but taking a life instead. Maybe want to utilize that stun Bonnie. Finding a coffin boat. The Marguerite is going to go ahead and look at that top 5 for a Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily. We see the 3-cost starter deck 02. I think it was the original starter decks that got introduced in the game, but could also find a Marguerite in this search. Scion, I don't want to get DMCA'd. That's why I don't play background music. So opts for the Marguerite. Does have to pitch 1 card in hand after this. Might go ahead, pitch the Marguerite in the hand. We see a red rock that was on the top of the deck, and the Marguerite goes away, passing off the turn. Dracula Mihawk going now to 4. We see a Spiderweb on the top, so running multiple copies of Spiderweb in this deck. We might see something like playing the Coffin Boat down onto the field and maybe swinging a 5/5, but depending on this draw, ooh, a nice 7-cost Shanks. The later turns going to go really well now for the Dracula Mihawk now that we have a 6 Dawn play, an 8 Dawn play, and a 10 Dawn play in the multiple turns. So with the 3 Dawn, is deciding between 5/5 and 8, but no, is just going to pass off the turn. Does not want to swing with this Perona or with leader at Boa Hancock. Maybe afraid of a trigger body. There's a ton of trigger bodies in this deck, right? The Gorgon Sisters, as we saw in yesterday's top 16, being able to play the card right away. Now at 5 Dawn, is either going to decide to play the Boa Hancock or Ran, I believe, on this turn. I love this guy's drip as well, the Dracula Mihawks. I love his drip. A 5,000 power swing now at lead is going to net a card out of hand. Is thinking about pitching the 2K Zoro. This Dracula Mihawk leaving up some Dawn maybe for the counter events, right? Didn't want to add any Dawn and swing for potential more attacks coming at him, especially when he doesn't have a ton of counter in hand. And so now the Boa playing down the 4-cost Boa Hancock blocker is going to rearrange that top 3. Does see a Hina in there. That Hina is going to be very, very nice to be able to gain that unblockable in the end stages of the game. We've seen this Hina played in both Boa Hancock and Jinbei lists at the first week of the OP14 format. Just a nice card in general. I would recommend, if you plan on playing Boa or Jinbei, to get your copies of that common. Not going to be too expensive, but it would save you a couple cents. Now attaching that Rested Dawn and the last active is going to put Dracula Mihawk down to 3. Finds a Dead Man's Game. So an event that only has counter on the event side, right on the counter event side. Top taking a Tashigi for turn. We may see a Tashigi come down on the field right now. Tashigi on the field would be nice to be able to have this big body that you can have constantly swinging in. Also having a protection effect means that it won't be removed from the field. And so is going to go ahead with the Stun Bonnie, though. Freeze the Marguerite. So minimizing the amount of tax on the turn. Is going to go ahead now and use leader effect to rest the Coffin Boat. Now restanding 3 Dawn. And with Dracula Mihawk's effect, remember, you cannot play characters for the rest of the turn. So with this 4 Dawn, he's either going to have to redistribute it, but decides to pass yet again. Continuously being passive in this game, being very patient. We'll see how it works out for him with a Boa swing in his face from both a leader and character potentially in this turn. Is now at 7 Dawn now, so could play something like Kuma to heal a life, but if your opponent's not really swinging at you, maybe it's more beneficial to play something like the other 4-cost Boa blocker in hand, or Ram. So starts out with the 6,000 power swing. Dracula Mihawk looking very defensive with Dead Man's Game, Surpass Me Zoro, and Spiderweb, is going to go ahead with the Dead Man's Game. Now going in with the 6,000 power swing, yet again is going to need to gauge another card out of the hand or a life, especially with the lack of 2Ks in hand on a lot of these bricks. In the Shanks, in the Mihawk, in the Lawn Beppo. You really hate giving up these counter events this early in the game. So is thinking about using the Surpass Me Roronoa Zoro. Resting an additional Dawn is going to net you plus 4,000 power on the counter. You don't get anything if you don't rest any additional Dawn. So it's kind of like a pseudo 2-cost event. And so is actually going to go with the Kuma. We'll see if the on play he decides to heal one. Is thinking about what card he wants to pitch. It looks like going to be the Ram. You want to save the Red Rock for something like the 7-cost Shanks or one of the boss monsters that Dracula Mihawk is going to play. So ends up using the Ram, going up to 5 life. More than the leader effect. And especially because we stack the top of the deck, we should know exactly what the card is that we are putting in the top of the life. I think being the Gorgon Sisters. So the Mihawk getting a Perona off the top of the deck. The Perona is going to be nice to be able to stun some of these bodies, make sure they're not going to be able to swing. But especially on an 8 Dawn turn, you're very tempted to play Shanks. Shanks being a great body, and one of the reasons that Draco Mihawk's such a powerful deck within this format. That Shanks being able, when it is rested, to rest a 7,000 power character or less, which would be anything on Boa's side of the field right now. And then when the character is rested on opponent's turn, you minus 1,000 power the entirety of your opponent's characters. And so is going to go ahead, play these Shanks, use the leader effect to rest the Shanks. Restanding 3 Dawn, now 4 as active. Can't play any other characters, but may start distributing this Dawn to swing at the different characters. Remember, the minus power on the Shanks does not happen until your opponent's turn. And so swinging 7,000 power, actually swinging it at lead, and it is going to be that Gorgon Sisters that we saw. Because of your leader effect, playing a character on your opponent's turn, you are going to draw 1 card. And now there's an additional body on the field for the Mihawk. Very much look like Boa's in the driver's seat right now of this game. But Dracula Mihawk going to be giving a 7,000 power swing at lead, leaving 1 Dawn active. Boa taking this life, not a trigger, thankfully, for the Mihawk. Grabbing a 1-cost Sengoku, ends the turn, restanding 1 Dawn because of the Coffin Boat end of turn. And now Boa, 4 bodies to swing with right now. The Boa Hancock player setting up that Gorgon Sisters trigger very, very well, stacking the deck with the 4-cost Boa Hancock blocker, reorganizing the top 3, knew exactly what card he was healing off that Kuma. So you got a couple different options here at this point. You've got an opportunity potentially if you wanted to use the Red Rock right now to bottom deck this 7-cost Shanks. That would give an additional, or that would take away the minus 1,000 power effect that your characters currently have right now. Make it a little bit harder to get out of these swings if you go in at face. Currently on the 9 Dawn turn, I believe. Does not have a 9-cost Boa in hand. And I think, honestly, maybe Red Rock on the Shanks is your best option. It's tough, though, because you know they have a 9-cost Dracul Mihawk in hand, right, from the Perona search. And so it all depends on, in this matchup, which is more harmful to your game plan. Is it the Dracul Mihawk, right? The Dracul Mihawk on that your turn does cause a 9-coster less to not be restive, effectively stunning one of your characters, or the Shanks minus 1,000 power. So is going to go with a Sengoku, maybe trying to find a 7 Warlords of the Sea kind of card that they can play. Does find a 9-drop Boa, so might go ahead and grab that. Could also grab another 6-drop Kuma. The 6-drop Secret Rare Kuma from OP12 does have the 7 Warlords of the Sea tag. And so is eyeing up and going with the Boa Hancock. Not a bad card at all. And so now I think going in with the Red Rock is going to go ahead, bottom deck that Shanks. Now that we have the 9-drop to play within the next turn, now we have so much Rested Dawn. If we go ahead and reveal 3 Amazon Lilies or Kuja Pirates type cards in the hand, we'll be able to use the Gorgon Sisters activate main to give a Rested Dawn on all of these characters, right? So not only did you get rid of the minus 1,000 power from the Shanks, but you also gave essentially a plus 1,000 power to your entire board because of the Gorgon Sisters. One of the reasons why the Gorgon Sisters, one of the most important triggers within this deck. If this card can get on the field, especially cheating it from life, right, as a character that originally cost 6, it gives you so much extra value in power. And so now going in with a 6,000 power swing, right, especially because it's been kind of awkward for this Dracul Mihawk on these different swings. Try to go in with some of these like lower numbers, try to get a card out of their hand. And Dracul Mihawk not really finding a lot of 2Ks, does have 2 Dawn for the Spiderweb if they want to use that. Spiderweb going to be able to bring back up Bonnie as active. But if he starts swinging 7s, it's going to be difficult. This game looking very advantageous to Boa right now, I will say. So thinking about what to swing with and in what order, still at 3 life, is going to go a 6,000 power swing now, and it looks like at leader. So no blockers on the field for Dracul Mihawk, plenty swings coming in. Still at 2 life, but not really a board to be able to combat against this Boa Hancock. This is top 16 bucket monster, if that's what you're asking. We just started the tournament. What is the best play right here for Dracul Mihawk? When do you Spiderweb? Do you Spiderweb like on the last one? Boa doesn't need to go for board. He has been giving counter events instead of counter cards, right? Like 2Ks and stuff like that. And he just gave 2 1Ks off of a 6,000 power swing. If I was the Boa Hancock, face is the place right now. We are swinging face. 6,000 power now, I think, going at face once again. There is a Spiderweb in hand that is going to be able to get out of an attack. But other than that, not much to do. Yes, marry me. Fudelio did make top 16 with Green Bonnie. He's not the stream game, but we hope that he gets streamed later. And so is going to end up taking that life, going down to 1. Still 2 potential swings at least with the Boa Hancock and the Kuma. Now is going to swing 8,000 power at lead with 2 Dawn attached to the Boa. Is going to go ahead, rest 2 with the Spider Web, right? Plus 4,000 power, restanding the Bonnie. The restanding of Bonnie not necessarily mattering. Maybe trying to get in a situation where maybe he does clear the Bonnie in the next turn, but you could even see Boa Hancock not swing right here, right? Because the 9-cost Boa is able to burn a life. But with this 9,000 power swing, I think it is going to take the life, pass off the turn. I think this Dracula Mihawk is in huge trouble. You're only able to play the Dracula Mihawk and stun one of these characters. You have no life whatsoever. Yo, what up, Appa? Kid Boo, these are 2 different tournaments. That's the only thing. And so maybe Dracula Mihawk, his best opportunity going in with Law and Beppo potentially. Law and Beppo would be able to make you a 7,000 power leader and make it a little bit harder for Boa to be able to go for game. Is going to go ahead with the Law and Beppo, stun the Kuma. It will not restand heading into his next turn. Still has the ability to use leader effect on the Coffin Boat to restand 3 Dawn. Yo, what up, Charlie? How are you? Uses leader effect to restand the 3 Dawn. Probably wants to leave 1 as active. Right, perfect for that Coffin Boat end of turn, restanding 1 Dawn. Right, as you have a Dead Man's Game in hand. Is thinking just about a 7,000 power swing. If I was the Dracula Mihawk, I'd be going at board right now. Is going to go for the Gorgon Sisters. And so it does need to give a little bit more cards than that. So it goes 2K, 1K on that, right, to get to 8 off the 7,000 power swing. You got to remember that Law and Beppo does make your leader plus 2,000 power. And so is going to go with another 7,000 power swing. Going at the Gorgon Sisters. Gorgon Sisters so important in this deck and is going to get knocked out. And so now restanding 1 Dawn at the end of turn through the Coffin Boat. There's no life to be taken from the Gorgon Sisters KO because, well, Dracula Mihawk has no life yet. And so is going to have at least 3 swings to work with. Dracula Mihawk, a 7,000 power leader. It's going to be all about if he can read that he's got no counter in hand, right? Especially because he gave up 2 1Ks earlier in the game. Might be a situation where maybe you attach 2 on the, or 1 to the Boa blocker to try to get a card out of hand and jam the rest with leader or something. No, there were 4 Mihawks in Top Cut chat. 4 Mihawks. Chat, what's the best numbers right here? Pretend that we don't know the Mihawk's hand. What's the best numbers right now? And so is going to start off with that 1 that I mentioned earlier. Is going to swing 7,000 power now with this Boa. This blocker Boa. You're not afraid of dying anytime soon. Is going to do a 1K counter. And I think is just going to attach the rest and swing. Might even try to split the Dawn at this point. But is thinking about maybe going passive and playing another 4-cost Boa. And is going to go. Maybe is not going to go for game at this point. He's going to reorder that top 3. We see a Kiku Nojo in there. Not going to be a card that really helps you at this point. Slave Arrow, Shaku, Yaku. 3 cards not really going to help. Yo, Ramton, what's good? This is the beginning of Top Cut. No Namis in there, though. No Namis. is going to get that one attached to Boa. If he just attaches the rest of Boa and swings, he does have a pretty good shot. I think he would just outright win the game. But swings 7,000 power is going to have to force one more card in the hand. Is going to be Perona to get out of the swing. And if he reads it correctly and swings 9,000 power with Marguerite, he would be the winner because Dead Man's Game only gives 3. But he swings 8,000 power. Oh, wait, no. Dead Man's Game would put him to 10. Never mind. He could not win the game right there, but he leaves one as active for the You'll Frighten Me. The You'll Frighten Me event, chat, that one Dawn that they're leaving open. That event, if you have 2 or less life cards, up to one of your opponent's active characters cannot attack during the turn. So not working as of right now because you are at 3 life. We'll see what he tries to do here. I mean, I think you got to play the 9-cost Mihawk, right? You have to try to go for board. And you have to try to hit with the Mihawk. He's definitely being on the cautious route. That's for sure. This Boa. I don't think he's afraid of dying anytime soon. So I think he's playing the patient game. He's trying to bleed out the hand as much as possible to be able maybe next turn to go in with the big deadly swings. Yeah, Eric, if you join our Discord and at me in the general, I'll link you to the free online sandbox simulator that you can play. And so is going to go with leader. This is an 11,000 power swing at leader. And if this is going at leader, this is a free take from this Boa, now activating the You'll Frighten Me event. And there's a potential trigger. It is Perfume Femur being able to draw one card. Right? The Shaku Yaku, the card that we knew was in there. And so now the 9-cost Mihawk going to be rested off of the Dracula Mihawk leader effect, freezing the Kuma once again. And now restanding 3 Dawn is going to have 4 left as active, especially with that draw 1 as well from the Perfume Femur grabbing a 2K. Now it's going to be easy to either save yourself or some of these characters. So I think this 7,000 power going at the Marguerite, he said. Oh no, going at the Boa Hancock, potentially? Is going to go at life. Just take as much life as possible. Maybe try to get another play trigger in the life. Especially because he's not swinging at board. Just go for an all-in next turn. Think you got a pretty good shot. And so now is swinging 7,000 power at Marguerite. An immediate block and 2K to get out of that swing. Now the end of turn, Coffin Boat restanding 1 done. Now into the Boa's turn. Boa is going to restand all... Actually, no, the Kuma can't be rested. So he cannot attack, but he does restand as active. Now at a full 10 Dawn, we'll start seeing these pokes. 7,000 power poke. Does have that 1-cost counter event, but only 3 cards in hand. 7,000 power at lead. The Surpass Me Roronoa Zoro is going to rest the Coffin Boat as the additional card for plus 4,000. Another 7,000 power here at lead is going to claim the win. And Boa moves into the top 8. Whoo! I think because Mr. Toxic, he was looking for a play trigger. So definitely a good showcase to Boa Hancock, right? Especially going against Dracul Mihawk. A very interesting game, right? Some good setup, especially with that Gorgon Sisters play that we saw. I don't know if Boa drew for turn 1 niche, but it didn't really matter too much. Yeah, he could have just swung 15 with leader and he would have gotten it. Although I don't know if that's the best idea. He could have done it. I think he kind of knew that he was cooked, Levi. I think Dracul Mihawk kind of knew in that last turn that he was cooked, and Japanese players don't scoop when they think they're going to lose. So I think he was just kind of going through the motions for the stream. Oh, chat! Egghead Crisis. This is a booster pack. Is this EB04 Egghead Crisis? Going on sale on January 31st. We don't know yet, Brian. Yeah, but Boa controlling that game from start to finish. And, chat, if I find any deck lists from this championship, like this Boa Hancock, like that Dracul Mihawk, I will post them in our Discord server. And if you want to join the Discord on Twitch, do !Discord. And on YouTube, if you're watching either on the live stream or the YouTube watch back, just join with the link in the description, right? It's free to join our Discord server. We have a good time in there. It's very casual, nothing crazy. Yeah, this is EB04, I think. Yeah. So the title is going to be Egghead Crisis. Yeah, maybe a big yellow set. Rob Lucci, Egghead Leader. We don't know who's top 8 yet, chat. When we know top 8, I'll tell you, I promise. Oh, I got to stop the recording on Twitch. There's your reveal for the day, chat, right there. Oh, this is the Jinbei that we already knew about, chat. They're talking about the EB04 cards that have already been revealed in English. No, Hiyori is Zoro locked, yeah. It's got to be Akuma. Ooh, yeah, it could be Akuma Leader, actually, in Egghead Crisis. Because he was left out of the 7 Warlords set. Raigo unbanned and new alternate art. Yellow-green Kuma Leader. That'd be interesting. Oh, yeah, Frankie Leader. Wait, no, OP14, I think, is the set that is supposed to introduce a new Straw Hat Leader, right? So I don't know if it would be Frankie. I mean, it could be Frankie. And if it was yellow, then it would be an OP15. The Fishman Power Creep cards. Oh, yeah. Like, Japanese players haven't gotten the official Japanese reveals yet. This has only been, until like right now, this has only been revealed in English. I don't even think the Japanese Twitter account has posted this until right now. At least I think. I get notifications for the Japanese Twitter whenever they tweet, but I could have missed it. Ah, here's this event, chat. The carrot event. I keep dropping cards, chat. I have this like stack of 40 bulk cards that I just shuffle at my desk. Well, if EB04 is Egghead Crisis, well, here's the thing, TCG Teddy. The GTS listing for OP15 specifically mentions in the GTS listing supplied by Bandai that there was going to be a brand new Straw Hat Crew member that gets a leader. Chad, how do you feel about this event? For anyone who does not know, this event minuses the cost of a character if your leader is a Minx type. It minuses a character's cost by 3. How do we feel about this leader? Or how do we feel about this card, not leader? How do we feel about this? We might get a new carrot leader in the future, but typically EB sets have just been boosts to existing leaders. There's only been 2, like, actually that's not true. EB01 had 3 leaders in it. This card combos well with so many different cards. I think that card is crazy with the 5-cost carrot and the carrot leader effect. Megaro. Also, chat, if you're enjoying the stream, please make sure to like on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, like on YouTube. I appreciate all your support. Also, let me say some hello. Hang, B-Max, Chopper TV, Charlie, and Rain. Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Chat, I hope you're enjoying the stream. Thank you so much for watching. Chat, there's like 400 people in YouTube. If half of you watching the stream right now took 3 seconds and liked the stream, we would have over 200 likes on this live stream. Anyways, I'll stop talking about that. That's my promotion. As a content creator, I have to do some sort of promotions. They're changing color identity more to character identities? Yeah, I think that's fair to say. And I don't mind that color identities are getting mixed in. I think that's fine. I think colors should only exist in the game so things don't get insanely broken. A leader that plays a character at the start of the game? That would be interesting, Pokey Kid. Also, I hope you're having a good day. I would like to see multiple leaders in an EB set marry me. I'd agree with that. Chat, I like this card. I don't understand the context of this card because I have not watched One Piece all the way yet. I'm not caught up. If I wish for Enel to come back, you'll like the stream? Dang, that's tough, man. That's like asking me to commit a war crime. Just kidding. Just kidding. I do like to see leader diversity, so I don't think I would mind if Enel came back. I don't really like playing against Enel, but that's because I don't practice enough against it. Oh, chat, they're about to showcase top 8. There are 2 Mihawks left, 2 red-blue ace, 1 Doflamingo, 1 green Bonnie, Fudelio, or maybe it's Fudelio, 1 Bonnie, 1 Emu, Han, and 1 Boa Hancock, right? The one that we just watched. Hey, thank you, Scoop. Thank you, Florian. Bring him back, bring him back. Enel in a different color. Chat, unfortunately, Crocodile. Crocodile not making it out of the top 16. UP Sanji also not making it into the top 6 or into the top 8. Croc and Sanji both losing in the top 16 round, unfortunately. Gate kept yet again. But chat, there were oh dang, I made a mistake on my I accidentally typed 3 green Bonnies, but I meant to say 2. And chat, here we go into the top 8 round. It's going to be Ace. Ace is going to be our stream game. We'll see who he's up against. Ace, considered the best deck in OP14 format, has a pretty good matchup into a lot of these OP14 leaders, although can be exposed very easily, right? If they can just deal with the new gates. We'll see who he's playing against, especially with that leader effects. The first one being on opponent's turn, pitching a card in hand, minus 2,000 power on your opponent's side of the field, and then Dawn ×1, once per turn. If one of your characters with 6,000 power or more would be KO'd, you can draw 1 card. Going up against another Mihawk. So they're showing a lot of Mihawk in this tournament. Mihawk being the most populous deck within this top cut. Favored matchup for Ace, and especially on stream as of late in the official tournaments, if you've seen on the channel the last couple days, Mihawk not having very good luck in these stream matches. We'll see if it turns around in this one. It was a Luffy, not a Sanji in top 16? Oh my gosh, it was. Crap. All right, I deleted my tweet. It was not a Sanji. Gosh dang it, Chad. If only I was fluent in Japanese. If only I was fluent. My bad, Chad. That's 2 days in a row that I've misread Top Cut. Ugh, I'm so bad. Yeah, at least they are showing us new decks. Looks like Ace is going first in this matchup. Dracula Mihawk getting the even curve. I don't know exactly what curve Dracula Mihawk wants specifically in this matchup, but I would assume that the even curve, not a bad one against Ace. Yeah, this is going to be a tough matchup for Mihawk, but we'll see if he can do anything about it. Ace starting off with a 1-drop Ezo. Going to be nice to be able to get some searching early in this game. And then on the next couple turns has Marco and Yamato, along with a couple Utas. Has a little bit of draw potential with the searching and also raw draw of Yamato. And this Dracula Mihawk still going with the Supernova version. So it looks like the Supernova version of Dracula Mihawk is the #1 way to play, right? We see Spiderweb, something that we just saw in the last round. Trillion Full Tricalicium, or whatever that 1-cost event is called from OP05, right? Also in the hand. The Stun Bonnie and the Blocker Bonnie are going to be nice cards within this matchup. Stato des. And so here we go with Ace starting off this one with the Ezo, looking at that top 5 with the White Beard Pirates trait. Does find a Jozu, 2 different Jozus. First the 2K and then also the 6-cost from OP08. Is going to opt for that 6-cost in OP08. Probably a very good card within this matchup, right? As Dracula Mihawk plays down a 5-cost, like maybe Perona, like maybe a Stun Bonnie. You're going to be able with Jozu to bounce it right back in hand. Dracula Mihawk passing off the turn, nothing to do with 2 Dead Man's Games in hand. Looks like Ace with 3 is just going to go ahead with an 9,000 power swing at lead. Dracula Mihawk taking the life. Does find a Laud Beppo, but not going to be good in this mid game as he finds another event. That's 5 events in hand for the Dracula Mihawk, now sitting at 4 Dawn. Doesn't have a Coffin Boat on the field. Doesn't have any characters on the field. And this might just be attach a lot to leader and swing. So attaches 3, leaving 1 Dawn open. Looks like Ace is going to take that life, use leader effect to draw 1 card, go down to 2, and now move into his 5 Dawn turn. We may see something like Yamato played on this turn, right? Yamato would be able to draw 2 more cards and go in with Arrested Dawn on leader for your leader effect, right? Especially with no characters on the field for Dracula Mihawk in this early stages of the game. You're not worried about losing right now. So drawing 2 cards does find a Charlotte Pudding. Charlotte Pudding could be very nice if Dracula Mihawk continuously takes life and builds up a strong hand. See a lot of great cards in this Ace's hand. Looks like Ace's game to take right now is thinking about using the Dead Man's Game event for plus 3,000 counter. And so is going to go ahead and do just that. Plus 3,000 to go 8. Perfect for a 1 Dawn Ace swing of 7,000. And now moves into a 6 Dawn turn. Can finally play a character like Stun Bonnie. We see a Shanks, which will be nice for the next turn, right? Going on to 7. But at 6, not going to be able to play that Shanks. The Stun Bonnie would be able to stun potentially a Dawn on the Ace's side, but especially because off that Ezo, he found a 6-cost Jozu. You know that Ace going into his 7 Dawn turn is going to be able to have a Jozu on the field to pump that right back in your hand. Especially on the odd curve, Bonnie may not have as much value. And so is going in with that Bonnie to be able to use leader effect and just effectively use some of these Dawn. Try to get something going. And so now attaching all 4 of the Dawn. Does not have a Coffin Boat to be able to restand for the other Dead Man's Game in hand as a counter event. And so is just trying to ask for a ton of cards. And so Ace now thinking about using leader effect and some counter. This is top 8, Michael. This is top 8. Fruitfly, Lucci hasn't been relevant up to this point. And so is actually going to take the 9,000 power swing. Especially with Jozu re-putting a character back into a hand and Mihawk not really having a way to interact with Ace's hand. Means that Ace can just continuously build up this hand of cards. Now with 6 active Dawn, 7 Dawn in total, could be able to play the Jozu to bounce back the Stun Bonnie. Go in with some swings if he wanted to. Starting out with a 6,000 power swing with leader. Dracula Mihawk is going to take a life to go down to 3. Is playing a 10-drop Doflamingo. So it is a brick in your hand, but an interesting card. Not something we've seen so far in these Dracula Mihawk lists at the championships. Takes the next swing, plays another event. And so with the Jozu is going to go ahead, bounce back that Bonnie back into the hand, clear the field entirely. Ace running this game right now. The 1-cost event from Dracula Mihawk for fun was the last life, by the way. And so what do you do right now? Do you just play down the 7-cost Shanks and hope for a prayer that there's no Red Rock? Ace will not get banned. Ace isn't good enough to get banned, in my opinion, Al. But probably something like Mihawk, because Mihawk's biggest threat is Ace, in my opinion. UP Luffy did look really good in last night's tourney, but that's what happens when you play Roger like every single turn. What is your best move right now as the Dracula Mihawk? You can go with the Shanks, right? The 7 cost on the field. If they play something like Red Rock, yes, you lose the Shanks body. But that means that a 10 cost Newgate does not come down on the following turn. You can restand some Dawn for these counter events in your hand, the 10,000 counter events you have. You can try to just buy some time right now. Toxic, I don't think we've had good showcases of Dracula Mihawk games on the stream. I think we're 3 for 3 on Mihawk kind of struggling in these games. Like the deck just not working. And so is going to go ahead with that Shanks, and now using the leader effect, is going to go ahead and rest the Jozu, right? Resting a 7,000 power or less character. Is maybe going to try to swing at lead or one of these characters right now. But with the one is going to go ahead with the For Fun event. The For Fun, if you use it on the main phase and rest 3 other cards, you can KO a rested 7,000 power character or less. So is going to rest leader and 2 Dawn to get rid of that Jozu, trading off a swing with leader. And so passing off the turn, moving into Ace's turn. Is only going to have to face 2 swings at this point. But now with the 8 cost event and a 10 cost Newgate that can come down onto the field, that is extra Dawn that is going to be attached onto this leader and Yamato. And so is going to go with that 8 cost event. Going to play out that 10 cost Newgate. Not opt for the plus 2,000 power, right? Because you're already at 1. Go ahead and draw 2. Needs a trash 1 on top of that. Is going to go ahead pitch the 4 cost Marco. And now the 2 rested Dawn attaching to leader and character. Now is going to be 8,000 power swings from both the Ace and the Yamato. And with 1 Dawn left as active, could be something along the lines of like an 8-9, potentially. Could also maybe do 1-drop Ezo. Especially because this Shanks, as he is rested on opponent's turn, is going to be minus 1,000 power on your characters. So Yamato actually right now a quick math 7,000 power swing. Could still go 8-8, right? Attaching the last active Dawn to Yamato. I do not know, Gerard, if Fudelio is in top 8. While we wait, I'll try to pull up his Twitter and see if he said something. And so is going to attach that last Dawn. Now swing 8,000 power. Is going to go at life and take the life. Only 1 Dawn active. Does find a 2K to Shigi. So finally has a 2K. Now is going to use the Trilicium event. And with the rested cards is going to get plus 4,000 power to get out of that swing. Go up to 9. Did not go to 0 on that turn. Passing it off to the Mihawk is going to draw for a turn now at a full 10 Dawn. Here's where we could see the 10 cost Law and Beppo excel. We could see the 10 cost Law and Beppo go ahead, freeze the 10 cost Newgate on the field to not only be able to get rid of a blocker for the turn for these different swings that you can utilize, but also be able to minimize the amount of tax. So now Dracula Mihawk gaining 2,000 power, going to be a 7,000 power leader. Here's where the comeback potential could happen. So now utilizing leader effect, resting the Law and Beppo, an 11,000 power character. You're not afraid of it dying anytime soon if you rested through the leader effect. Does have 3 active Dawn to work with on this 7,000 power leader. Also has a 9,000 power Shanks. Might be thinking of trying to go at this Yamato to be able to get it off the field. Now swings 8,000. This 8,000 either going at Yamato or Ace is going to command 2 cards in hand, either a 2K, 1K, or leader effect 1K. And so it looks like he is going the 2K, 1K route just in case he wants to use it on this Shanks. So still has 2 active Dawn. Remember, no Coffin Boat on the field, so not going to be able to restand any of this Dawn. Just swings 9,000 power. And so it sounds like the Shanks is swinging at leader, if I heard correctly. Chad, there is no word of a ban. There is no official word of the ban. Everyone who says there is just trying to get clicks from you. There is no official word of a ban. It is all speculation. It is all bad rumors with no basis. There is no announcement for the ban list. I will tell you when there is an announcement for the ban list, and I will give you physical proof that there is an announcement. I will show you proof. But when I ask someone to show me proof, nobody has proof. It's all rumors. Anyways, we still have to fulfill this 9,000 power swing. No, it would not be today anyway, Arch Cook. Yeah, you know what, Houdini, I might ban you if you're feeling lucky. And so is going to go leader effect on the Newgate and a 2K from the Uta, passing off the turn. Getting out of that attack, especially with the leader effect, right? Putting Ace or the Shanks down to a 7,000 power character, and then the 2K from Uta pushes you above to 8. Now going in with the Charlotte Pudding, might go in now with the swings. All those cards back into the deck. Does still have 6 Dawn active to work with. Still have plenty of cards in hand. Chad, if they banned Emu, it wouldn't make sense. Because Emu is not dominating. It was dominating in 13, but we are past that, honey. Quit living in the past. This is OP14 we're watching. Hey, thank you, Nachinis. Is going to draw 5 cards now. Those 5 cards having a little bit of counter on it, right? We see some 2Ks in Tashigi and Kiku Nojo, and also another Tashigi, right? As a 1K, the OP14 Tashigi, as well as a couple bricks in the Shanks and Dracul Mihawk. The Dracul Mihawk could be nice, but now the 6,000 power swing testing the waters. He is a 7,000 power leader, so is not going to get that back, just wasting a swing at this point. Definitely got to remember that that Law and Beppo gives 2,000 power through your opponent's turn. And so got caught slacking a little bit, maybe a little bit overconfident. This could be Mihawk's comeback at this point. Because now at this point, Mihawk cannot die. There is no rush cards in the hand for the ace. Mihawk will live another turn. But I don't know if Mihawk can stop the onslaught of 10 cost Newgate and like a leader swing. Yeah, a big misplay at this point. Is thinking about going with a Yamato, right? Now that you know that you can't win the game, is just going to go with the Yamato to draw 2 fresh cards to add to the hand. Now attaching 1-2 leader. And now you may attach this other active one to the leader to swing an 8,000 power swing to force a 2K out of hand. Since Mihawk is already low on hand size anyways, is going to go 8,000 power, try to see if he pulls a 2K. Mihawk now 7,000 power leader until his next turn. Is going to pitch the Kiku Nojo. it looks like. Kikunojo or Tashigi is going to go exactly with that and pass off the turn back into the Mihawk's turn. We'll see if he can get anything to advance himself. A top deck of the Law and Beppo would be huge here, but does not find it. If you play the Coffin Boat on the field, it's very nice, don't get me wrong, but you don't have any counter events anymore in the hand, and if you drew a Law and Beppo, you wouldn't be able to play it. Yeah, no, I'm not. Nerves definitely in this. I mean, I've been there. I've definitely swung at a 6K leader with a 5K body. Sometimes you're so focused on what you should do that you forget moments of the board state. And that just happens. I mean, these players have played 9, 10 rounds so far of One Piece. Your brain's kind of fried if you make it this far in the tournament and you're just surviving on like fumes at this point. Because they do one-day events, chat. The whole tournament has happened today. They don't do a day, like take the day off after Swiss and then do Top Cut. They go straight into it. So, I get it. It stinks, but I get it. You know, and those are the mistakes that you can't make. And so what do you do as this Dracula Mihawk? This Edward Newgate 12,000 power body is a menace to your side of the board. And so is going in with the Law and Beppo, I think, at lead now. Is going to try to bleed out the ace's hand. Only needs to hit twice to be able to get the game. The question is, with all of these cards in hand, can you do it? Yamato was minus 1K, which is why he attached the final active Dawn to the Yamato. He swung 8 with the Yamato because he attached 3 active Dawn to it. I don't know, Mr. Toxic, if it says that you can do up to or 3. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't do 3. Or any less than 3. It says set up to 3 of your Dawn cards. So technically you could do 2 if you wanted. But I don't know why you wouldn't do 3. So again, we have to fulfill this 11,000 power swing at lead. Is going to go ahead with leader effect 2K. Right, Law and Beppo now after leader effect being a 9,000 power character. This 2K putting ace to 8. Needs to give up another 2K to get out of that swing and pitches the 2 Utas. I think maybe is a little worried about like an all-in play. Splitting the Dawn between leader and Shanks to go for game. The Coffin Boat now drawing 1 card. Does find a Law and Beppo. I said that if the Coffin Boat draws Law and Beppo, you can't play Law and Beppo. But maybe could if he went ahead and tapped the Coffin Boat with leader effect to restand the 1 Dawn that he just rested, could then use Coffin Boat to freeze the Newgate. That is a play you can make. But is not going to make that play, especially with this 11,000 power swing now. To lead, I believe, is going to, because the Shanks became rested, rest the 7,000 power or less, is going at the pudding. I think is going for game right now. So is going to draw 1 card off of the leader effect. The Coffin Boat, resting it, is going to restand that active Dawn. Now attaching 8 and swinging 13 at lead. Ace has a lot of counter cards. Has already used leader effect. Has a bunch of 1Ks in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pitched 8 cards to go to 14,000 power. And passes off the turn. Ace now with all of these characters is going to go in and swing. Oh, no, he can't play the character because of the Mihawk condition. You guys are right. Yeah, you can't do the Law in Beppo, so that play, I was cooking too hard, chat. Apologies. But now with the 7,000 power swing, goes 2K, 1K to get out of that to 8,000 power. And the 8,000 power swing at lead, taking the life. And the 12,000 power swing with Newgate going to be able to claim this game. The Mihawk, though, getting so close. 1,000 power off. 1,000 power off. Played 8 1Ks, chat. I think that is the most I've ever seen in the championships. The most cards used on counter that I've seen from a player. Pitching 8 cards, and especially 8 1Ks. That was crazy. That was crazy, chat. Good game, though. A little unfortunate for the Dracula Mihawk, but he came close. He kind of clawed his way back in a little bit after the pudding, and he made it close, I will say. We haven't had the best showcases of Mihawk so far in this tournament. But these Mihawk decks are very interesting, right? Running the Supernova package, running Spiderweb. I've been very curious about the innovations of Mihawk so far. There's Egghead Crisis again, chat. It was a decently close game, Akano. Like, yeah, Law and Beppo is such a good card into Ace. Because you can proactively rest those Newgates, right? And you can freeze them so they can't swing. Also, Bertie, Sea Heaven, McIntry, Drills, and Arch Hook. Thank you so much for following over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Mihawk is the new Roger? I don't know about that. I feel like Roger is very similar to like UP Luffy. Where you just like want to ramp as fast as possible and then do your thing. All colors should have a pudding. I do find it very interesting that blue has pudding because there's honestly not really any cards like pudding in the game. I don't think that pudding needs to be banned. I'll say that right here and now. But I do think it's really weird that pudding exists when there's nothing else like it in the game. Because it is such extreme hand disruption when one piece does not have aggressive card draw like White Schwartz or Pokemon. You know? No, this is single elimination, Alex. Also, chat, I have not seen Fudelio tweet if he made it into top 8 or anything like that. He has not tweeted yet, which is either two possibilities. He's either on the grind and he is headstrong focused, grinding out these top cuts. We do know that there is still a Bonnie left, I think, in top 8. Or he lost and he's, you know, finishing out the tournament and celebrating, you know, probably with his friends, you know, things like that. These are cards that were already revealed in English, but in Japanese, they're like revealing them for the first time. Yeah, 8 1Ks is crazy. A purple pudding that makes your opponent go down to 5 Dawn. That is Magellan. Yes, Mihawk has a good... To my understanding, Mihawk has a good matchup into Emu and a bad matchup into Ace. Yes, that Ace won. That Ace did counter out of the attack. Barely, though. We get an Iono of One Piece. Do you guys remember N in Pokemon? The original N? That card was gas. Yeah, the new Animal Kingdom Pirates cards look good. This Sanji card is good, right? Chat for 3 Dawn if your leader is Sanji. And you have 4 Dawn. You can play a 6,000 power or less Sanji card from your trash, I think. Yeah, he had enough counter. He got out of the attack, but he was 1,000 power off from losing that game, which is crazy because he had like 12 cards in hand. Now, Chad, this king is broken. This king is so good. This king is insane, chat. Activate main once per turn. If your leader has the Animal Kingdom Pirates trait, I think you trash 1 card in hand, draw 1 card, and then you ramp an active Dawn and you ramp Arrested Dawn. Oh, you can play it from hand too, the Sanji event. Trash or hand, yes. The King and Kaido won't be KO'd from OP14 SR Kaido, right? I mean, I think on the cards you have to Dawn minus to keep them alive. But technically, yes. Because it's an ongoing effect. So any kind of effect. It could be Kaido Linlin. It could be King. Or I'm sorry, it could be Kaido Linlin. It could be Kaido. Any KO effect. I did not know that, Purple Alligator. I did not know that. Do you have any advice on when or where to buy cards like Kuma? They're spiking up a bit recently, but I like to play Boa. I mean, the easiest way, in my opinion, is to ask like your local community Archhook. I am blessed because I live in Las Vegas and I have a very I have a lot of people in the community. So like we have a Discord server, we have a buy sell trade section. And people in our Las Vegas server will usually sell somewhere between like 70 to 80% of market price. So it really helps save a lot of money. Well, hold on. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't be able to. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. I was thinking like you could maybe get the Dawn back from like one of the blockers or something that like re-ramps a Dawn when you put 1 Dawn back. Yeah, actually, no. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work with Kaido Linlin. Or it doesn't the Kaido as well do Dawn minus 10? Am I lying, chat? Am I lying on the internet? Whoa! This card is so sick. Wait, this is a new alternate art, right? Did we know about this alternate art? Yeah, we did. Stun Bonnie does have an alternate art. I own 2 of them. Now I only own 1. Yo, congrats, Penguin Dragon. Yeah, King is hot. King is gorgeous. Oh, the Kaido is minus 6 or 5. Oh, okay. What am I thinking of then? What am I thinking of? Because I know Kaido Linlin is 10. I don't remember. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just crazy, chat. Chat, I stayed up so late last night. I stayed up until like almost 4 a.m. last night. And now I'm here back again, staying up until like 2 a.m. Chat, our top 4 has 4 unique decks. There is a Bonnie in the top cut. There is a green Bonnie in the top 4. Also, the ace that we just watched, the Boa Hancock, also made it within the top 4. And Doflamingo with his 2nd straight appearance in these Japan Championship top 4s. Chat, there's a chance that Fidelio TCG is in the top 4 of this event. So, chat, the top 4, Ace, Green Bonnie, Blue Yellow Boa Hancock, and Purple Doflamingo. So you're saying there's a chance, chat. Chat, we're cheering for Green Bonnie. We're cheering for Fidelio TCG. No Blue Yellow Nami in this top cut, I'm pretty sure. Doflamingo, my king. Dofi versus Boa and Ace versus Bonnie. Show me the Dofi, baby. I kind of want to see the Bonnie game just because I want to know if it's Fidelio. I kind of want to see the Bonnie game so that I know if it's him or not. Is that greedy, chat? Is that asking for too much? Chat, it is! Fidelio TCG made top 4! That's him! But this player, this is the Bonnie. This is the Bonnie, chat. Blue Yellow Bonnie. If you do not know, OP14 leader. On opponent's turn, if you play a character, draw 1 card, and Dawn times 1 on opponent's... Or, Dawn times 1 on opponent's turn if a character... with the Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily with the cost of... Sorry, chat. I am like... This is my friend. This is a mutual in the content community for the One Piece trading card game. So I am so excited for him right now, being top 4 in this championship. He is a Bonnie heathen. He loves Bonnie so much. He has played Bonnie for so long. And we showcased him earlier this week on the channel, playing his Bonnie deck. And to see him in the top 4 is awesome. Chad, I have no idea about this matchup, but holy moly. There was one emu in the top cut, Green Warrior. One emu. He is. He's a great content creator, chat. I'm going to link his YouTube, by the way. Chat, if you do not know, the player in the top 4 right now that we're watching, I just posted his link in the chat. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's the Bonnie player right now. I don't know if this is Bonnie or Boa favored. Yeah, he is fluent in Japanese. He lives in Japan, chat. He lives in Japan. He speaks Japanese. Dude, imagine he wins. I think because he's in top 4, does he qualify for... He qualifies for the Japan finals, right? Yeah, well, I mean, top 32, I think you qualify for the Japan finals. Yeah, he is very active in the community. Bonnie favored, Bonnie favored, Bonnie favored. Nice. Let's go, Fidelio. I might be more of a friend on this chat. So I try in my commentaries to be a little bit more professional than the average person, but I might become a little bit more excited than the average caster being like a friend and a fan. Yeah, he streams regularly on Twitch and YouTube. Usually he does... No, this is not a rerun. This is live right now, McSwaggertron. This is live. You're live right now. Yes, I'm from Las Vegas. Yes. Yeah, Bandai Fest is going to be there, Kraken. Bandai Fest is going to be in Las Vegas. Yeah, Yizzy. Actually, I'm going to pin his YouTube link on Twitch and YouTube for y'all. Chad, I think Vegas LCQ Bandai Card Fest signups are tomorrow morning, by the way. Yes, Las Vegas, Nevada. Yo, you're on the north side? I'm not originally from Las Vegas. I moved to Las Vegas when I started making content. Team YouTube. Chat, this is huge for the One Piece TCG YouTube community. It is very expensive to live in Las Vegas. It is very expensive, chat. I do not have a lot of money. That is why I need your subscription right now and your like on the live stream so I can pay rent in Las Vegas. So, chat, looking at the Bonnie's hand, Bonnie has a 0 cost event. We haven't seen this card yet in Bonnie decks so far in these tournaments, but not ultra surprising to see it in this deck. We see Akuma, the 4-cost blocker boa, a Shaku Yaku 2K, and the Oh You'll Frighten Me. Looks like Fudelio playing the 5-cost Perona. So we showcased in the video earlier this week of his deck list, playing this 5-cost Perona. If you watched my videos, you would know what this deck is all about. Also has some protection with the Tashigi, has the 5-cost Boa blocker, as well as a 5-cost Carrot, and a 9-cost KO Shanks. Chat, am I getting Bonnie and Boa mixed up? I'm so sorry. I don't know. I haven't watched One Piece. I'm sorry, chat. I'm going to do it again, probably. The Boa on the 1-Don turn passes off the turn. Does not have a 1-Don Searcher, Sengoku, or anything of the sort. Bonnie, Fudelio TCG doesn't have a Bonnie either, so on 2 is going to pass the turn as well. Rocking the Chinese anniversary Don, I think those are. I see right there. And so Boa going in with an 8,000 power swing is going to put Bonnie down to 4 life and on to his next turn. Now at 4. We'll see if he decides to play anything down. Does not have anything because Bonnie primarily plays a ton of 5 costs. Can have some stuff that's really nice in the coming turns. But for now, thank you so much whoever did that subscription. I'll look at it soon. Is going to go with a 7,000 power swing at lead. Is going to have Boa take the life. Is it a play trigger? It is. Marguerite. Marguerite on here, popping Boa's leader effect to draw 1 card. And now with the Marguerite, you're going to be able to search for that top 5 for an Amazon Lily. We see the Gorgon Sisters, which can be very nice. Right, Gorgon Sisters, ideally you want to play as a trigger. Is just a nice card to have, right? Is a 2K, so you're adding a 2K into your hand, but on top of that, you could potentially play it down on 6 if you wanted to, or on your 7-Don turn. So is going to grab those Gorgon Sisters, or no, is going to grab the 9-cost Boa. I'm sorry, I didn't see that in that stack. 9-cost Boa, the primary boss monster of this deck, passing on the Oh You'll Frighten Me event. And Bonnie going to pass off the turn, leaves 1 Dawn as active, right? So is going to be able to use the Bonnie leader effect to rest either the Boa Hancock or the Marguerite, whoever doesn't swing first. And so the Boa player, I know who these 2 characters are, is going to go ahead with the 4-drop starter deck Boa Hancock from starter deck 17. Reorganizing that top 3 is going to have a Gorgon Sisters within the top 3. We could see something very similar to what we saw in the top 16 game, right? Set up your draw so then in the next turn, play down the 6-cost Bartholomew Kuma to be able to heal the life of the Gorgon Sisters to then be able, off an easy trigger, play the Gorgon Sisters down onto the field and cheat it out, essentially. So is going to attach 2 Dawn, 1 from the 4-cost Boa effect and 1 as the final active Dawn to swing 7,000 power. Is going to go ahead and rest that Marguerite, right? Pretty easy, I will say, of a choice. Now has to decide if he wants to go down to 3 life or counter out of this swing. Does have some 2Ks in the hand off the protection Tashigis, off of the X-Drake. Has some 1Ks as well with Perona and also the Carrot. Might go ahead and play Perona in this next turn to stun the Marguerite and the Boa blocker. One of the reasons I really like Perona in this deck is thinking about pitching the Bonnie blocker and the Tashigi. Bonnie, not necessarily known for popping different characters, but decides to take the life instead, finds a Bonnie Searcher, and moves on to the 6th Dawn turn, I believe. And so on the 6th Dawn turn, we could see something like the 5-drop Perona. The 5-drop Perona would be able to stun these two characters on the field. Come on, play the Perona. Make me look smart. Come on, Fidelio. You could do it. I think playing Perona is fine right here, right? Like, playing Perona is really, really good. Is going to go ahead with that Perona to stun. 2 5 costs or less, not allowed to be rested until the end of your opponent's next end phase, is going to minimize the amount of attacks that he's going to have to face in this next turn. And so now with a 5,000 power swing at lead, is just going to command 1 card out of hand. And lucky for him, only a couple 1Ks. But those 1Ks being kind of valuable with the Bartholomew Kumas. Could potentially just pitch a Kuma out of the hand right here. Maybe he's just checking out the Bonnie SP foil. He's probably trying to double check as he 2Ks out of that swing. He's probably just trying to check something as simple as, like, when exactly does this Bonnie effect go off in relation to, like, my different things that I can do. And so plays that 1-cost Bonnie. That's going to be nice being on the even curve in these next couple turns. Is going to go ahead with a 6,000 power swing to start the turn. No Dawn active because only one thing can swing. Now plays that Kuma. Is going to go ahead, trash a card from hand to be able to heal a life. More than likely going to be those Gorgon Sisters that we saw earlier. So is going to get rid of potentially the blocker Boa in hand. It is a brick in hand, and you already have one on the field. But especially as a 4-cost, very easy to rest or negate being able to be rested. So it goes ahead and heals the life, going back up to 4, passing off the turn. So now Bonnie going to 8 Dawn. Has the ability to play some characters. We see a blocker Boa, a 3-cost PRBO2 Boa. No rested characters, so cannot go in with a carrot to be able to freeze a character. But it might be nice to just establish carrot in general against the Boa. Is definitely in an interesting spot. If he played the 2 blockers of the 5-drop Boa and the 3-drop, or I'm sorry, the 5-drop Bonnie and the 3-drop Bonnie, he would be able to restand 1 Dawn at the end of turn for the 3-drop Bonnie effect. And potentially as well draw some cards with that secret rare. Yeah, no Cavendish, definitely hurting right now. Cavendish being such an important card on 5. Or this 7 Dawn turn, right? Even though we played the 5-drop Perona, which I think was a good move, the 7 on this turn, definitely hurting. Or, I mean, the 8 on this turn, definitely hurting. As you don't have a great play right now. It's a little too early for Hody Jones. So the 5K swing is going to go ahead, block the Boa. Might go ahead with this carrot now and freeze this Boa. Just trying to get the block, the free block on the Boa so you didn't have to take a life, right, from KOing a Kuja Pirate or Amazon Lily character. You can just freeze it instead to make sure that it never restands as active. And so starts off with a 3-cost Bonnie. Maybe going in with the 5-cost Bonnie blocker, just going in with 2 blockers, right? To be able to fit that 8 cards rested effect. So on the 5 is going to go with that Bonnie blocker, just establish another blocker. Has over 8 cards rested on the field, so is going to draw 2 and trash 1. Trashes a 9-cost Shanks, already having 1 in hand. Passing off the turn, is going to restand 1 Dawn because of the 5-cost Bonnie effect. And so is going to go ahead and use that for the Jewelry Bonnie Searcher to find a Supernova. We see another Bonnie in there. We see a Cavendish. Looks like a 10-drop Doflamingo, right from OP14. Doing a little bit of math. Fidelio, one of the more animated players that I've ever seen. I have not seen Fidelio play before, like in person. He's very animated with his hands. It's very fun to watch. And is going to go with the Cavendish. The Cavendish going to be put into the hand and then on opponent's attack right in the next turn. The 3-drop Bonnie is going to be able to restand. So is now thinking about swinging with the Perona. You know that this 6K swing is not going to be able to get a KO, but it's that Gorgon Sisters that we saw earlier on the reordering of the 4-drop Boa, and now passing off the turn. That Boa is not stunned. That Boa is not stunned. There is no Jinbei match tonight. No, Jinbei did not make Top Cut. And so now with Boa Hancock, is going to be able to swing a lot of these bodies. Be even able to play the 9-drop Boa as the boss monster for the turn, and then use Gorgon Sisters because you have 3. Actually, wait, does the Gorgon Sisters require just character cards, or is it just cards in general? Since the Gorgon Sisters require Amazon Lily or Kuja Pirate type cards, if you played the 9-drop and then use the Gorgon Sisters activate main effect, you would be able to utilize it, right? As Oh, You'll Frighten Me is a Kuja Pirates type card. And so goes in with the 9-drop right away, is going to take a life off of that, going down to 2. And now the Gorgon Sisters, you have to reveal 3 different Kuja Pirates or Amazon Lily cards. So it goes for the Rand, Boa, Boss Monster, and the Oh, You'll Frighten Me to give an Arrested Dawn to all these leaders and characters. One of the best cards within the Boa deck, as we've seen in this event. Huge value, especially in these late turns when your board is filled. Kuma now going to be an 8,000 power swing. On opponent's attack from the 3-cost PRBO2 Bonnie is going to restand a Dawn, and now with Bonnie's leader effect is going to rest the blocker Boa, but you still got to get out of this 8,000 power swing somehow. Could just be 2 2Ks, could be a block from this 3-drop Bonnie. Trying to think about the rest of the turn. Right, you know that there are 3 more 6,000 power swings at lead. Has plenty of 2Ks in hand, but those 2Ks can bleed out fast. I know the 9-cost Boa SR looks so good. No red law, Diego. And so is going to go ahead block with that Bonnie. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to have a chance to drop this Cavendish. And so now with the leader swing is going to go 6,000 power. Is maybe thinking about swinging at maybe the Bonnie Searcher or the 5-drop Perona. Right? Maybe trying to clear board a little bit. But it looks like his swing at the 1-cost Bonnie is just going to let that knockout happen at this point. Now the 6,000 power at lead. 2K out of that one. And a potential one more 6K swing with the Gorgon sisters would just be another 2K. So is going to go for that 2K with the Scratch Minapoo passing off the turn. Now into Bonnie's next turn. Is going to go to a full 10 Don. We see the 10 drop Doflamingo in hand off the top of the deck. And so is something that you have to think about at this turn. Right? Would be able to stun 3 of these different characters. The only problem is you don't have a Dawn that restands because you don't have that 3-cost Bonnie blocker anymore. So you wouldn't be able to get your leader effect. So what is the best play right now for Fudelio? You're probably saving the 9-drop Shanks for the 9-drop boss monster? Is it play the 10-drop and stun so many of these characters? I don't know if 10-drop Dofi is a incredible play, but it is a valuable play. But is it your best play right now? I think he's thinking about playing some of these other cards on the right side in the hand. Could Carrot be pretty good? And so it looks like going 5,000 power lead is just going to be a ram to get out of that swing. 6,000 power now going at lead is going to be a life potential trigger. If it's a play trigger, he's got to play over one of these characters and opts for not to with the Shaku Yaku. Shaku Yaku having a potential trigger of playing the card if your leader is Kuja Pirates. Opted for the 2K in hand. And so is going to swing the Bonnie. So this Bonnie being 6,000 power is just going to be that Shaku Yaku out of the hand. So splitting up 5-3-2 is going to go with a Carrot to freeze one of these 7 costs or less. And so is going to go for the Kuma, the biggest body on the field that fits that condition. Now the 3-cost Bonnie is going to be played. A Capone as well. The Capone, because of the amount of cards that you have rested, is going to draw one, trash one. So trash the 9-cost Shanks, passing off the turn. The the Bonnie, I'll never get it right, chat. The Bonnie on opponent's attack will restand 1 Dawn. Still plenty of swings coming in hand. We don't know the bracket, James. They don't show the bracket. They just show, they only show who is in the top cut. Boa might be in a position now on 10 Dawn to just go in and swing and then play your boss monster yet again. So on opponent's attack, restanding the Dawn from the PRBO2 Bonnie. Now thinking about using leader effect right now on this Boa swing, but what do you rest? Do you go in, rest with leader? Do you rest something like the Gorgon sisters to make sure that maybe, I'm not sure. And looks like is resting the Boa blocker, the next highest character on the field, and blocking with the Capone Beige. 5,000 power now at lead. If I was the Boa right now, I think I would consider playing another 9-drop Boa and then using the Gorgon Sisters effect. Right? You have 3 Kuja Pirate Amazon Lily cards and the 2 You'll Frighten Me's and the 3-cost Boa Hancock. So you would be able to reutilize the Dawn. But I guess the real question is, who do you play it over? Maybe swinging this 5,000 power at lead before playing the 9 cost because your board is so full of characters. So is going to 1K away with the Cavendish. Only 4 cards in hand for our hero, Bonnie and Fidelio TCG. Yeah, swinging at board is so tough against Boa because you lose a life every time. You very quickly go down to 0. Boa is just one of those leaders that I feel like is so awkward to play against. If you go ahead and play the 9-drop Boa on the field, you would only have 1 Dawn active for the Oh You'll Frighten Me event. And so off of that swing, the 2K X-Drake. Utilizing the X-Drake instead of the Bonnie for Dawn efficiency is thinking about whether or not he wants to go down to 0 at this point. Or 1, I should say. Has slightly prioritized the 5-cost Bonnie. This is so intense, chat. I'm like giddy watching him. And is going to counter out with the Bonnie. And so now with the 9 is going in with the next Boa, is going to be able to heal a life, go up to 4. Now if Fidelio TCG wants to win the game as the Gorgon Sisters attaching a Dawn to leader to get that leader effect off potentially, you got to hit 5 times, and especially with the Oh You'll Frighten Me event revealed, you're going to need almost 6 swings, which you can have with Hody Jones, but I don't know if you can live that long. Is your best play something like 10-drop Doflamingo? 10-drop Doflamingo would be able to stun 3 different characters, and then the carrot would be able to stun a 4th character to prevent to only allow 2 swings coming in, as you have 2 blockers on the field. So is going to swing 6,000 power at life, freezing the Kuma now. If there's a play trigger, you could be in trouble. And so is going to take that life. What is it? It's a potential play trigger. If it's a play trigger, again, he's got to replace one of these characters on the field. I would assume you replace one of your rested characters. No, is going to put it in the hand. It's a Perfume-Femer. Perfume-Femer going to be very, very good to be able to go for game. Yo, what's up, Ralph Terra? My other Bonnie god. This is a crazy game. And so 5,000 power at lead is going to be a 1K with the Boa Hancock out of it. 6,000 power with the Perona is going to take the life, put it in the hand. No trigger yet again. Akuma 1K. He's not dying anytime soon. And I think the 10-drop Doflamingo coming down now. The 10-drop Doflamingo more than likely freezing at least the boss monster Boa, the blocker Boa, and maybe the leader Boa. Go with the Boa trifecta. Chad, don't be toxic. Fidelio is still in this game. And so now is going to swing with the Bonnie. And so now going in with the Bonnie. We'll see if this Bonnie continues to take. Is going to take once again, going down to 1 life. The 10-drop Dofi coming in is going to stun 3 different bodies. Looks like is going to be the leader and the 2 Bonnies going with that Bonnie trifecta, as I mentioned. Maybe is taking a read at the Gorgon Sisters. and ends up for the third option going with the Gorgon Sisters. So leaving the Boa leader alone is going to restand only the Boa leader and the 9 cost. Now, here's the crazy thing. Fidelio needs to think about Perfume Femur at this point. Because if, and especially with the 3 cost Bonnie, right, on this attack from the 9 drop, he's going to be able, on opponent's attack, to restand the 1 Dawn and use the leader effect to rest the other Bonnie on the field. 3 different Boas. I'm sorry, chat. Did I say Bonnie? 3 different Bonnies. Is going to go ahead with the Boa swing, now using the Bonnie effect to rest that leader and go ahead and block. 10 Dawn left as active. This is Fidelio's game to win. I think he can get this. Especially with Hody Jones. Chat, he still has Hody Jones. Boa could survive if he plays Kuma. That is true. Kuma would heal a life. Would be a strong card. It's no doubt that Fidelio is surviving this turn. But it's going to be all about if he can win next turn. And so is thinking about playing the Kuma, is going to play over one of these characters. I think the blocker Boa is the best option. Is it? He's got to play over one of these characters. Would force Fidelio to hit 3 times that life instead of 2 to be able to win this game. Is going to go in with this Kuma. You've got to trash 1 card in hand. Probably. Oh my gosh, he has 3 You'll Frighten Me's. Wait. So he's got to trash a card from hand. It looks like he's going to do one of the You'll Frighten Me's. Right? Hody Jones with 4 Dawn can only rest 2 Dawn. Is thinking about leaving more. I think you got to trash either one of the You'll Frighten Me's or the 9 cost Boa. This is a crazy game, chat. We still got 4 minutes left. We might hit overtime, but I think we'll be fine. I think this game will finish. I think this game is either going to finish on Fidelio's turn or the Boa's turn. And so is going to do the You'll Frighten Me. And with 4 Dawn, can still reveal 3 cards for the Gorgon Sisters, so he doesn't have to use any of his active Dawn to attach to leader. And so is going to go ahead and attach it with 2 You'll Frighten Me's. Remember, the You'll Frighten Me event, if you have 2 or less life cards, one of your opponent's active characters cannot attack during the turn. That means that when he plays Hody Jones, he'll have 6 swings available, and 2 of them will be negated. So out of the 3 hits that he needs to do, he only has 4 swings really to be able to work with. This is not an easy spot, I think. And so is going to go 10,000 power at leader. Now going for the You'll Frighten Me. Is going to prevent the carrot from attacking. Right? Especially if you can live, right? Carrot's not going to freeze one of your characters like the Gorgon Sisters or the Kuma. Right? So a very smart decision. You'll Frighten Me, though, does not get out any power. So we still have to resolve this 10,000 power Doflamingo swing. And so is just going ahead for the second You'll Frighten Me to stun the Perona and takes the life. Is a potential trigger. If it's a draw trigger, maybe you go for it, right? Perfume Femur would be a draw one card, could be a card with counter, but decides not to. Is a Ram. The Ram going to be a nice card, right? We have a 0 cost in the event, a 0 cost in hand. We've got the Kuma, we've got the Ran. I think right now you slam Hody Jones, right, to rest the final 2 Dawn, but goes in with the 7K swing first. Fidelio, way more reps than I do in this with this deck. This 7K swing is going to be a 0 cost event to get out of the attack. Yes, you can, and that's what he did, Kaizen. And so is going to pitch the Boa, has exactly 8,000 in hand. So if he plays Hody Jones and uses the last 2 Dawn to swing 7 with Bonnie, he's not going to be able to get it. The 7,000 power swing now going at lead. Maybe not. Oh my goodness. I don't think he can get there. I don't think he can get there. Right? Because the 7K swing, you go 2K, 1K, right? Because isn't Ran a 2K? Oh, wait, no, Ran's a 1K. Wait, we're so in. We're so in. Hody Jones coming in. It's all going to depend on this life of what the Boa gets. 7,000 power with lead would be able to net a card. And then hoping that either the last life is not a 3-cost Boa blocker or a 2K. Fidelio would make it to the finals. Yeah, Ren is a 1K. I thought it was a 2K. That's my bad, chat. And so it does take the life. Is it a blocker? It's a potential trigger. It's not. It's a Gorgon Sisters, but the Gorgon Sisters are a 2K. And the 8K is going to be able to get out of the attack. The one card he needed, a 2K. Such a great and close game, but with no life, no blockers up on the field. Boa's big swing at lead is going to end the game, and Boa Hancock is going to move into the finals. You know what? GG's, Fidelio. GG's. That was tough. That was tough. I'm not going to lie. You know, I mean, especially on, what was it, 8? Or, so on turn 3, he played the Perona, which I thought was a good idea. But then turn 4, he didn't feel like he had a really good play, in my opinion. I feel like Cavendish was ideal. But I don't know. He has done way more playing than I have. He is one of the best Bonnie players that I know, right? And especially piloting Bonnie to a top 4 in this brand new meta. A great, great job by our good friend Fidelio. Again, chat, if you're on the live stream, I've pinned Fidelio's YouTube channel on the stream, and I'll go ahead and pin it again for the Twitch viewers as well. That's his YouTube channel. Please go subscribe to it. Support him. Yeah, his opponent leaving up 4 Dawn was huge, actually. Because he basically guaranteed that he was going to be able to utilize 2 of those events. This is a great job. It was a good job. It was a good idea not to pitch any of them either. Because he had opportunities to pitch them because of the Kumas, right? Because you have to pitch a card. But whoo, Chad, that was a cool game. That was a cool game. Shout out to Fidelio again. That was fun. I can't wait to watch Fidelio's upcoming YouTube video reviewing his own stream game. Because I feel like we're going to learn a lot from that stream game. Yeah, so Yizzy, for anyone who does not know, the stun event, You'll Frighten Me, nullifies an active character from being able to attack. So proactively using it early in the game, when Fidelio had like 3 or 4 active characters already on the field, right, still as active, he was able to use the events to negate those active characters from being able to attack. Which is why the carrot didn't swing, which is why the Perona didn't swing. All you got to do is be at 2 or less life. I think the Boa player had one turn where he could have gone 9 cost Sixers effect for bigger attacks. Maybe close the game out 1 turn earlier. I don't know, because, I mean, he did a pretty good job with, like, the carrot being able to stun things, Perona stunning stuff, and having a lot of blockers on field. Because, like, even on the turn before he went in for game, like, he played out 3 blockers, which was crazy. Yo, what's up, Akailakai? Hey, Akailakai. Great job on the tournament. I know you wanted to do I know you were striving to do better, but I'm proud of you. Chat, can we get some claps for Kailakai in the chat for a great tournament as well? Another one of my favorite content creators. Chat, I'll link him too. Where is he? I'm going to link everybody. Where's Kailakai? Okay, now we're going to unpin this message, and then we're going to post that message. Chat, you should follow all of these YouTubers. Yeah, the Boa played it really well, Caleb. I agree. Also, Caleb, thank you so much for the Prime. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the Prime earlier when I was super stressed watching that match. Also, let me say thank you to a lot of the Twitch followers. Mr. Bob, Dave Cutter, Trust, Zeus, Laser Bear Shark. That's a great name. Conwed, Max, Andrea, Melt, and Maze. Hope you all had great evenings or days. Hey, you know what? Kai's my favorite YouTuber. So, you know what? You can say that if you want. Whoo! Yo, Portcast, what's good? Hey, what up, Key? Of course. I am frequently on Twitter / X, whatever you want to call it. So, Malgus, that player lives in Japan. He is a Japanese resident. He lives in Japan. He's originally from America, but he lives in Japan. And so he's allowed to play in that. He's allowed to play in the tournament. He doesn't play in any American events, though, I don't think. Yeah, Fidelio is one of the green goats. I can't wait. If Fidelio ever sees this, I need you to make a like self-commentary and critique video on that game, because I need to know what you're thinking in that game. I need to know exactly what you're thinking, why you made these specific plays that you made, because I am not a good player. So I want to learn. I'm glad he chose Bonnie too. So chat, we know that Boa. We know that Boa is in the finals of this championship. We do not know what the other player is, though. Yeah, Kai went all 9 rounds, 7-2. Pretty doggone good. Oh, no, Malgus. I probably wouldn't do this if it was an English-speaking stream. But Chad, thank you so much to everyone that's here right now. If you're enjoying the stream, please follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, or please like the stream on YouTube. Chad, there's over 600 of you on YouTube, and there's over 100 of you on Twitch. It might be Ace. It could be Ace. We do know that the other top 4 game was Ace and Doflamingo, Purple Doflamingo. But in yesterday's championship chat, in the top 4 was that same matchup of Ace and Doflamingo ended up winning it. So even though Ace is favored in that matchup, it could still be Doflamingo. So we're in the finals right now. Come on, chat. Give me Dofi. Chat, for anyone who does not know, Dofi is my favorite OP14 leader. I've said this since day 1 reveals. He reminds me of blue-green Rosinante, except purple. Ace will be in the final probably. Well, I know that Ace has a good matchup into Doflamingo, so it's likely that he is. It is likely that Ace is in the final. Yeah, Dofi versus Boa would be good, but I think Ace versus Boa is going to be good too. This is the Ace player that we saw. So Ace making it all the way into the final, heralded as the best deck in the OP14 format, does very well into the OP14 leaders, right? A lot of the OP14 leaders, like Boa, Dracul Mihawk, have good matchups into Emu, but maybe struggle a little bit more into Ace. So we'll know that Boa Hancock matching into this Ace in the finals. We'll see how it goes, right? Especially with Boa's ability to be aggressive and force Ace on KOs potentially to take life. Even though Ace can build up a huge hand, might be able to get all these pokes, all these swings to run Ace out of cards. Chat, leave a message in the chat who you think wins. Do you think Boa wins or Ace wins? Boa, if you do not know, on opponent's turn, if you play a character, draw 1 card, and then Dawn ×1 once per turn. If one of your 5,000 power or less Kuja Pirate or Amazon Lily characters would be KO'd, your opponent has to take a life. Bo about to speedrun this Ace. I want Bo to win. I've watched some YouTube videos, chat. And if you were to tell me that Boa was favored into Ace, I would believe you. Because of the YouTube videos I've watched. Where Boa is just like super aggressive. And then they have Perfume Femur to win the game. Chat, Perfume Femur is so good. It's going to be a draw. If it's a draw, Lachi, I will personally gift you a channel membership on the channel. I hope the better player wins too. Does Ace deck change much from 13 to 14? No, not really at all. Only really tech cards, in my opinion. Would Ace's deck list change from 13 to 14? I'm sure both of these players are really nervous, chat. I would be nervous too. Chat, I'm nervous that there's like 800 combined people watching this stream right now between Twitch and YouTube. That makes me nervous. Imagine these people. These people not only have over 4,000 watching on the main live stream, but you've got Joe Schmoes like me. So there's at least 5,000 people watching the live stream right now. Well, the thing about Boa's triggers is that Boa's triggers are like all 5,000 power. So, especially against Ace, it doesn't matter as much, right? You have to have the Gorgon Sister on the field to be able to get up to that 6,000 power to be able to swing. Hey, thank you, Caleb. I appreciate it. And so looking at the Boa's hand, we've got a couple Marguerites in the hand. Going to be some nice searches as well as a Sengoku. You've got an unblockable Hina, or I guess what I should say is a block negating Hina, I guess is a better way to put it. And then Gorgon Sisters. You like the Gorgon Sisters in the life rather than in the hand, but you can't complain about having a 2K in my opinion. And the Ace doesn't really have anything to do in the early game, right? We see Jozu in the hand. We see Marco. We see 10 cost Newgate, Roger, and the 8 cost event. I'm not sure who's going first or second in this. But if Ace is on the second curve, that'll be nice to be able to play Marco on his second turn. But if he's on the odd curve, could have an awkward first couple turns. Yo, have a good night, Caleb. Appreciate you coming by, and thank you again for the sub. Looks like Boa is going first, so it looks like Ace is going to be on the even curve. And here we go, Chad, in the finals of the Tokyo Championships Day 2, the second tournament of this weekend. The Boa starting out with the Sengoku. 7 Warlords of the Sea looking at that top 5. Grabs a 4-cost Boa, one of the great cards within this deck, chat. One of the reasons why this card has spiked up in price. This starter deck blocker, so good to be able to get a Rested Dawn on your leader, but also reorganizing your top 3 for stuff like Kuma. So Ace drawing for turn, drawing an Atmos. Nothing really to do, just attaches 1, passes the turn. This way, if he does take an attack straight to the dome, he will be able to draw an additional card, but Boa Hancock playing that Marguerite is going to forfeit all of their Dawn for this turn, so no swings coming in, but is going to look at that top 5 for Akuja Pirates, Amazon Lily. We see a couple 9-cost Boas, right, and 2 You'll Frighten Me's. So ops for the Boa Hancock, right, Boa being able to force your opponent to take a life while you heal 1 is going to be a nice card to play in the later stages of this game, and passes on the other Marguerite. Right, heading into 5, probably going to play the 4-drop blocker Boa. Definitely a card that can be countered by Atmos. Right, Atmos being a tech card in these Ace decks, much more becoming a staple, I feel like, in the last several weeks. Is going to be able to remove a 4-cost Boa if he decides to do that, playing the Marco on this turn after Boa takes the first life, going down to 3. Off the life, getting the Hina no trigger. Does find a Perfume Femur, which is a nice card to have. And so now is going to attach 1 and swing 6,000 power with Marguerite. No Dawn attached to the Ace. So will not get that extra draw because of the leader effect, right? You need Dawn times 1 for it. Is going to have to deal with 2 6K swings on this turn. And so is going to use leader effect on the Roger. Go ahead and pitch that. The 4 now coming in for that Boa Hancock, like I mentioned. Reorganizing that top 3. Does find a Kuma and a Ram. Does not find a Kuma and a Gorgon Sisters. But if he goes in next turn and plays the Kuma down, he is going to be able to manipulate what goes in his life, right, as a potential trigger body. Would you rather have the Search, or would you rather have something like the Ram? The Ran, a nice card, right, to be able to get a Dawn consistently on your leader with that activate main every single turn, as the final 6K swing nets a 2K. Did go on the top of the deck Kuma, Marguerite, and Ran, so it looks like Boa eyeing up Marguerite going into the life. Does find a Garb Searcher off the draw for turn. We'll see if he decides to play this Atmos. You do have to reveal 2 Whitebeard Pirates kind of cards to be able to bounce back a character of 4 or less back into the hand. Would be a great counter card to this blocker Boa. No blocks coming in. Especially because as you're playing against Boa, right, what you have to do is you have to try to not KO characters, right? We've seen this all weekend long in these Japan Championships. Players avoiding the KOs on these different characters so they don't have to self-inflict life. Removal cards like Atmos, very good in this matchup to be able to avoid just that, right? KOing those characters. And so still 2 Dawn as active. Maybe thinking about playing this Garp, potentially, doing a search, although I'm not sure what you're going for if you do. And so starts out with the 6,000 power swing, gets a 2K Hina outside of that. And now a 7,000 power swing is going to go down to 2. Takes the 0 cost event, so the 0 cost event is going to be able to make a brick a nice 3,000 power. And he goes in with the Garp, finds an Uta, and also a couple of the 8 cost events. So 2 8 cost events going down to the bottom of the deck. The Uta coming into hand, a nice 2K, is going to pass off the turn to the Boa. We know the Boa, top 3 cards of the deck, drawing the Kuma for turn, is going to have that Marguerite there at the top of the deck if he decides to go ahead and play on his 7 Dawn turn. Yeah, pudding I don't think is mandatory, but is very good in a lot of decks. But yes, this is the finals, chat. Yeah, no triggers so far for the Boa. Very good for that ace. The Kuma, if you do play that down, you do have to get rid of a card in your hand. And so what do? Is going to attach 1 onto leader, right, for that Dawn ×1 effect. If you plan on playing the Kuma, you don't really have a good way to get a Dawn on your leader and this Marguerite, so you got to sacrifice one of the 2. And so starts out 6,000 power. No blockers for the ace as of right now. I don't believe that, Philip. I don't think you can get back-to-back top 16s, and the deck is just get lucky off triggers forehead. I don't believe that personally. Sure, the triggers play an influence, but a lot of the triggers that we've seen off of Boa in this tournament is just manipulating to get triggers, right? With stuff like Kuma being able to stack the deck and then knowing what your trigger is going to be. So a 6,000 power swing now at lead could just be a 1K Jozu to get out of the attack. Is just going to be exactly that. And there's the Kuma. Kuma going in with that trash. 1 card from hand goes with the blocker Boa that was put back in hand earlier in the turn. Is going to heal life. We know that's the Marguerite. And as that gets played down onto the field is going to be a nice search. Kuma now being an 8 cost character. Actually very influential, right? Kuma being an 8 cost character means that he cannot be Jozu'd at this point, which actually matters a lot. And so Ace now going ahead, playing the Newgate. We'll see if he takes the life from the event effect, decides not to. And now the Newgate drawing 2, trashing 1, does find a Red Rock and a 1-cost Garp, forfeits the Red Rock. Attaching 2 Dawn on both a leader and character is going to make this Atmos a 7,000 power swing, in the Ace an 8,000 power swing. Starts off with 7,000 power in Atmos. And so would just be an easy 0 cost event to get out of this. Again, we know that the Marguerite is in the life, so probably going to take it on this leader swing. And so something that we've seen from a couple opponents with the Boa is after a heal with the Kuma, we have seen them not swing. This ace going with a swing, despite knowing full well that there might be a trigger. Oh, and I think I accidentally drew one extra card. Oh, no. It just looked like he drew an extra card. Okay, did get 5 cards. Don't worry, chat. Is thinking about grabbing the Ran. The Ran would make it to where your leader effect is very easy in the coming turns. But Ran only a 1K. Right? I would imagine next turn you're playing the 9-cost Boa. Is maybe now eyeing up the Gorgon Sisters, right? Of quality 2K in the deck. But no, goes with the Ran. Why would you go with the Ran over the Gorgon Sisters? Oh, is just going to trash the Ran off of the Marguerite effect. And then because you played a character on your turn, you go ahead and use the Boa leader effect. Because you played a character on the opponent's turn, draw 1 card. So off the draw for turn, finding a 4-cost Boa, still sitting at 2 life, is now going to be at 9 Dawn. Could go ahead with that 9-cost Boa. And so 5,000 power now going at this Atmos. Is going to get that KO on the Atmos. Marco still a blocker that could be used. Would draw 3 cards. The ace at this point, though, here's the thing. Does not have a lot of movement. Is really depending on this Garp right now. To be able to make plays in the next turn. Boa might be thinking about a 6-cost Kuma again. Now that we drew it off of the leader effect last turn. Now a 7,000 power swing at lead. Still Marco and a Edward Newgate to be able to block. And is thinking about pitching a card from hand. Yeah, Atmos is a 5K. Did I say 6K, chat? That's my bad. I meant to say Marco is a 6K. And so attaching 1 onto leader is now going to swing 6,000 power. Only 8 Dawn left as active. No Boa Hancock coming on this turn. 9-cost Boss Monster may go in with a 6-drop Kuma instead. Yeah, no draw off of the Atmos. Because Ace's leader effect does specify 6. Yes. Appreciate that, Scotty. Appreciate you clarifying that. And so is going to 2K out of that swing. Now going to be swinging with Marguerite. Marguerite now 6,000 power. Only 2 cards in hand for the ace. Is going to go ahead and take 1. Is going to draw 1 card on top of that to go to 4 cards in hand. Does find a 10-drop Newgate. He's going to be able to move next turn. And so now with the Kuma, going to be healing 1 more card, leaving 1 up as active. Is going to be threatening a potential, oh, you'll frighten me. As Ace draws another 2K on the top of the deck. Full 10 Dawn, we could see something like the 10-cost Newgate come down onto the field. Thoughts on OP14 supported Red-Green Luffy? I think it's a cool deck, but is not good enough to win championships, unfortunately. Yeah, the ace player really rocking with a low hand at this point, chat. Only 5 cards in hand right now. Does have a 10-drop blocker Newgate. Will be able to draw a little bit more cards, but starts out with the Garp. Maybe trying to find a little bit more counter. Does find Radical Beam, but can't grab it. Is eyeing up the 2K Jozu. Now has 3 2K or 2 2Ks in hand. Can still play that 10 cost Newgate because of the 8 cost event. Is going to do exactly that. Playing down the 10 cost Newgate. Is going to go ahead, draw 2, trash 1. And then reutilize Dawn. Still has 1 active Dawn, so could go ahead with a 5,000 power swing on the Garp if he wanted to. And is going to do exactly that. At least attaching the last active Dawn for a 5,000 power swing is going to net 1 card in hand. Boa now sitting at 3 cards in hand. 8,000 power now going at leader, it looks like. Is going to go ahead, take the life. Is it a trigger body? And looks like it is going to be a Ran. Ran is going to be onto the field. Now you can play a little bit on curve as you draw a card, a 0 cost event. And the Newgate now claiming this life. Going to put this in hand, a Red Rock. Not going to bottom deck anything. Maybe thinking about using it on this turn. Especially with a full board of 5 characters. Maybe you go in with the Red Rock. Now that you have the Slave Arrow, now that you have the 0 cost event. But you still haven't done any damage to the ace. Red Rock would be able to bottom deck one of these 10 cost Newgates. Maybe the lone active Newgate. Still has an active Marco blocker. But he's still relatively healthy with 2 life at this point. If you play the Red Rock, not going to have a lot more to do with in terms of playing characters. It would just have 4 active Dawn left. Still a couple 7K swings in the... What's his name? Kuma. And especially with only 4 cards in hand, you know one of them is a 2K. In the Jozu that you saw off the Garp search. Maybe just trying to fish for that card. So curious if our Boa player would swing first before playing the Red Rock. And is going to go ahead and swing before the Red Rock potentially. Is going to go ahead and 2K out of that. From the 2K that we know is in the hand. Especially because he didn't do it at first. It makes me think that he's not planning on playing it on this turn. Even if he does Red Rock the Whitebeard, still would have a big 12,000 power Newgate, a 6,000 power Marco, and a leader with 10 full Dawn to be able to survive out of the turn. So not an easy spot, I feel like, for this Boa right now. Couple cards in hand, a bit of counter as well. You'll need to leave some Dawn open for the 1 cost event. Goes ahead with 7,000 power at lead. Still have that blocker Newgate up. Is going to go ahead with the ace leader effect, I believe, to minus 2,000 power on the Kuma. Pitching the ace in hand. Still has 2K, 1K. Only 2 cards in hand. I think keeping Red Rock was fine. Is going to go ahead, try to clear this Garp. And now with the 9, is going in with the Boa. The Boa is going to be able to force ace to take a life as you heal 1. And now with Rand's effect on the Activate main, giving Arrested Dawn to your Boa to be able to use a leader effect potentially, but still have one Dawn active for the Slave Arrow. The Slave Arrow is a plus 4,000 power, which means that you have a fair amount of counter. You've got 4, 7, 9,000 counter, as well as Ace needing to hit 3 times to be able to win the game. So I don't know if you're afraid of dying right now if you're the Boa. It's definitely scary, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if you're afraid of dying. So the Boa establishing a huge body on the field, right? Really puts Ace in a weird position of how many times do you actually want to swing, right? The more that he swings with these new gates in the coming turn, that means that's one less blocker to be able to prevent these different attacks coming at him. If he swings at the Kumas, gets the KOs, Kuma will heal a life. If he tries to KO or remove some of these Kuja Pirate type characters, which are not even rested anyways, he would in theory have to take a life. I think saving the Red Rock for this upcoming turn, this next turn, because I think Ace is in a position to where he almost needs to swing with one of these new gates. Double Yamato would be dangerous. Lot of drawing cards. Does have 2 Yamatos, but starts out with a 7K swing. Still has plenty of counter in the hand. Jozu, Otama, Uta, all 2Ks, and a couple 1Ks in the Yamato and the Jozu. Uta blocker could be nice, right? Especially if you have a 10,000 power or higher character on field. Uta costs 2 to play. Could be something that we see in this game to just get an extra blocker on the field to be able to guard against these attacks. Boa only has to hit twice to be able to win. Does have access to stuff like Perfume Femur, which I think the Ace really needs to think about on this turn. So still with this 7,000 power swing, got plenty of time, 9 minutes left in this match. The Slave Arrow looks to be the option here. Now you do have to pick up a 2-cost or higher character to be able to utilize it. So what do you pick up? Maybe thinking about picking up the 3-cost Marguerite, right? A blank card, but goes with the Kuma? Maybe is thinking about at this point, after picking up the Kuma, to potentially play it back down to heal another life. That would be interesting. Now attaching 3 to the Garp is going to be a 1K to get out of it using the 2K Gorgon Sisters. And now swinging in with these new gates is going to take this first life. It's a trigger body, it looks like. Or, no, not a trigger body. The Boa Hancock, if you do not know, plays a 6,000 power or less Kuja Pirates type character from your hand and a trigger. So not working as we don't have any of those. And ends off the turn playing the Uta. 2 blockers, 5 potential swings on the field, and a Perfume Femur ready to rock and roll. What can Boa do right here? Is Boa just going to try to bait out the Perfume Femur? Or try to get him to take the last life so then he can Perfume Femur and negate all the blockers? If he drew a second Perfume Femur, the game would be over, probably. More than likely. Is thinking about swinging with the Boss Monster Boa first. Could just be a block with this new gate to not reveal anything in the hand at this point. The ace with two 2Ks and two 1Ks. Still has a life, still has leader effect to be able to minus 2,000 power somewhere. But ace still's got two blockers in the Marco and the Uta. This 6,000 power swing now, trying to net a card, is going to get that Yamato. If he does red rock the Marco, this would allow ace to not draw 3 cards off of the on-KO effect of Marco and the leader effect. Is maybe thinking about playing a Boa. The 3-cost Boa from the original starter decks is just a simple 3-cost blocker. Can still play the 9-cost Boa on this turn. The 9-cost Boa would be able to heal. You would go back up to 2 life. And with Rand's effect, you would be able to put a Rested Dawn onto your leader. But would you be able to live on the clapback is the real question. And so is just going to replay that Kuma back down onto the field. Is going to go ahead, pitch the red rock, it looks like, to heal. Maybe is going for the 9-cost Boa. So is going to go with the 9-cost Boa to heal, saving that red rock potentially. And so now with Rand's effect, attaching 1/2 leader, may use these last 3 Dawn to play a 3-cost Boa blocker to starve off against some of these swings. Now with the 6,000 power swing at lead, is going to get a 2K. Potentially utilizing... Why would you keep Jozu? Yeah, I think keeping Red Rock was correct. It was just unfortunate that he got Slave Arrow, because that changed his plans completely. Because the game state changed. And so is going to attach 2, now swing maybe 7. No, 8,000 power. Is trying to get a block here. And so is going to go ahead, take that final life. Drawing a card off of leader effect. We see the 5-cost Rush Yamato here. The 5-cost or 6-cost Rush Yamato, I'm sorry, from EBO2, a tech card that we see a lot of Western players use, not really in the East, at least since the beginning of the format. Very good for aggressive game plans. Now going to be swinging 7,000 power. Is going to use the 0-cost event on the 6-cost event. If he goes in for game, he's going to need to go all in. Is now going to be a 5K swing. Does have the Boa Hancock in hand as a 1K counter. And so is going to go ahead, do that. Ace has got to go all in to be able to win this game. A trigger potentially right here. What is this trigger? Off this Marco swing, putting it in hand. It's the, oh, you'll frighten me. There's no Dawn left as active. I don't know if it would have mattered, depending on what this trigger is. And is going to put it in hand. It's Ran. And so if he goes in with all of this onto the Boa, 6,000 power swing here, gets the game. Ace is going to win. Ace collecting the win. Definitely a good game, I will say. A close game. Definitely a close one. I think was a little tricky. It looked scary at first for the ace, but drawing out of it And then Boa, kind of having a weird mid game, I think. Why did Ace ditch Marco after taking the life? Yeah, the Marguerite swung 6. Or wait. Oh, because of the Kuma. So the Kuma and the leader effect on the Marco. Yeah, so he leader affected out of this final Kuma swing. That's why. Whoo! Yeah, very close. Very close. Very good game. The ace one. The ace one. Yeah, I kind of missed the swing too, Scott. I don't think a ban needs to come. No, I don't think so. The thing is, Chad, I don't think the last on didn't really matter, right? Because he had 2 swings left. So, Chad, that last on didn't matter because if he negates one of... If he's really worried about it, if there's one Dawn, he swings the new gate first, right? He just swings the new gate first, and then he has leader. Like, he wins no matter what. Because if he just goes 15 with lead, sure, you can negate this, but you lose anyways. Because the You'll Frighten Me can only go at active characters. When did he draw this? I don't even think... So he drew it right here on that swing. And yeah, even if you did have one for the You'll Frighten Me, I don't think it matters because you still have to get out of 2 of these swings. If he had 2 Dawn active and 2 of these, that's a whole different story. But I do think that Boa was playing like semi-passive at times, it felt like. I don't know if that's totally true, but like the Slave Arrow play on the Kuma to like heal even more was interesting. I would have thought he picked up Marguerite to be able to keep Kuma on the field because there's a 7,000 power swing that you like automatically lose out on. But I also don't think I think if he had known that he was going to draw into this Boa, he wouldn't have done the Kuma. I feel like I feel like there were 2 situations where he had this game plan that made a ton of sense and were good plays, but then he found even better plays that made his previous plays very unfortunate, right? Well, yeah, Marguerite's just a brick, but you can use it off the 0 cost event. And you can potentially keep Red Rock to be able to like bottom deck one of the active blockers. So like the Red Rock trigger, right? A lot of you guys were saying like, oh, he should have just triggered Red Rock. At the time when he first got Red Rock, I think it was a good idea to keep Red Rock. But then drawing into what he did, Red Rock became less and less of a valuable play to make, which is just unfortunate, you know, on the draws. And I think the Slave Arrow is kind of the same thing. Because, like, I see his idea on the Slave Arrow to be able to heal next turn, but as soon as he gets this 9-cost Boa, the Kuma is just like, oh, dang, I wish I would have kept this Kuma on the field and picked up maybe, like, Marguerite instead, because this 9-drop is just kind of, like, a better in some situations to be able to heal. He ended up playing the Kuma again, right? And he just like pitched the Red Rock from hand, or he pitched the Boa from hand. Yeah, he went with the Kuma and he pitched the Boa from hand. I don't know. I don't know. I would love, like, for later in this format, like, when we get to the end of the OP14 format, I would love to see this matchup like played out again. To see like one, maybe if this deck is a little bit more fleshed out and improved upon, but also if you play this any differently. No, it's not best of 3. It's a best of 1. Ace won the championship. Red Rocking Marco feels like the better play. You deny Ace from 2 free draws. Yeah, I was super curious, 1, that Ace never used this, but 2, if he was ever going to try to utilize this Red Rock to get rid of this guy. And off the trigger, it is nice, but I think when he got the first trigger of the Red Rock, I think his goal or his idea was that Ace was more valuable. No, I'm not going to, Yogurt. I mean, I'll be talking about the OP14 format a little bit because we'll probably get like some reveals and stuff, but I'm going to be doing all of these championships as they come up. And I'm only going to really be focusing on the format that the championships live in. Also, chat, before I forget, I will say I will post the 2 deck lists from this final in our Discord server, along with any other deck list that I see from this championship. So if you want to join the Discord server, do !Discord on Twitch or on YouTube. You can click the link in the description below. I think in hindsight, Red Rock Marco was the play, but I don't know if at the time of the trigger, Red Rock was the play, you know? Yeah, this was the finals, Danielle. That's why we like paused it and went backwards. So, because there's nothing to miss. Yeah, I'm super happy with this meta so far. I think we've had 2 back-to-back tournaments of the first legal weekend of this set, and we've had very nice, diverse formats, right? I don't know exactly what first place wins, but I know they have an invite to the finals. I don't know exactly what they get, because I know top 4 gets the Ace promo card, or top 8 does, and top 32 gets the Sabo. I don't know what all the prizing consists of. Yeah, Dr. Pancake, I'm going to have to wake up really early for that. I don't think they need to ban Ace. I think that was a pretty close game. And I think the Ace games that we saw were really close. Even with the Dracula Mihawk, that was really, really close. Oh, they win the Serial Zorro. Yeah, I think they do win the Serial Zorro. I think they do for these championships right now. That's right. They were showing that earlier. I don't know how much it goes for. I'm not one of the the people that follows the market watches, really. My market watches are all about how you can save money playing the game rather than how you can make money in the game. Chat, I'm kind of hanging out for the ending announcements. December 13th is the Osaka Championships. Area. And then this is is this the area finals right here in Tokyo? Is this Tokyo right here? No, that's not Tokyo. I don't remember my Duolingo kanji. I don't know favorite anime villain. He got top 4. Do you get a Serial Zorro for top 4? He finished top 4. All right. Chat, that is going to be it for the live stream. I am going to go off to bed because it is 2 a.m. my time. And I need to be up in a couple hours to be able to sign up for the Las Vegas LCQ signups. It's supposed to go up at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Chat. I will also link it in the Discord. Chat, if you want to join the Bandai Card Fest LCQ, I will post it in the Discord right now in the tournaments section of the Discord. I just posted it there. So chat, thank you so much for watching. There were a ton of you today. I think there was like 700 people on YouTube at one point, and there was, for a lot of the stream today, there were over 100 people on Twitch. One of our most successful live streams to date. So chat, I appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much. And if you're watching the VOD, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff in a bag of chips. Later this week, chat, or I guess next week. I mean, today's Sunday, but probably on Tuesday, we are going to be watching and commentating over the Hong Kong championships that happened, right? So long as they're still public. So look out for that on Tuesday. I will see you all later. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the night, chat. I will see you. The tickets for Nats should go live at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Or tickets for the LCQ for Nationals. The tickets for the LCQ. It's just the LCQ. The general entry should be at a later date. Anyways, chat, I'm going to go to bed. Bye.